Once upon a time, in a small, peaceful village at the edge of a vast forest, there lived a girl named Elara. Elara was known for her adventurous spirit and her deep love for nature. She often explored the woods, where she felt a special connection to the trees, animals, and streams. One day, while wandering deeper into the forest than she ever had before, Elara stumbled upon an ancient, twisted oak tree. Its bark was covered in strange, glowing runes, and its branches seemed to whisper in the wind. Intrigued, Elara approached the tree and placed her hand on its trunk. Suddenly, the runes glowed brighter, and the tree spoke in a deep, resonant voice. "Greetings, Elara. I am Oakenheart, guardian of the Whispering Woods. You have a pure heart and a brave spirit. I need your help." Elara was startled but curious. "What do you need, Oakenheart?" "The Whispering Woods are in danger," Oakenheart explained. "An evil sorcerer named Malakar seeks to drain the forest's magic to increase his own power. If he succeeds, the woods will wither and die. Only you can stop him." Determined to save the forest she loved, Elara agreed to help. Oakenheart gave her a small, shimmering acorn. "This acorn contains the essence of the forest's magic. Keep it safe, and it will guide you." Elara set off on her quest, following the acorn's glow. As she journeyed deeper into the woods, she encountered many creatures. A wise old owl named Hoot, a playful fox named Finn, and a graceful deer named Lyria joined her, each offering their skills and knowledge. Together, they faced numerous challenges, crossing a raging river, navigating a maze of thorny brambles, and avoiding Malakar's traps. Along the way, Elara's courage and kindness inspired her companions, and they became a close-knit team. One night, as they rested by a campfire, Hoot spoke up. "We are nearing Malakar's lair. Remember, Elara, the strength of the forest lies not just in magic, but in the unity and harmony of its creatures." The next day, they arrived at a dark, ominous cave. The entrance was guarded by Malakar's enchanted creatures. Elara, holding the acorn tightly, led her friends in a plan to distract and outwit the guards. With quick thinking and teamwork, they made their way inside. In the heart of the cave, they found Malakar, surrounded by swirling dark magic. He sneered as they approached. "You think you can stop me, little girl?" Elara stood firm. "The forest's magic is not yours to take. It belongs to all who live in harmony with nature." Malakar laughed and began to cast a powerful spell. Just then, Elara threw the shimmering acorn at his feet. The acorn burst into a brilliant light, enveloping Malakar and disrupting his dark magic. The forest's magic, freed from Malakar's control, surged back into the woods. Malakar, weakened and unable to maintain his spells, fled into the shadows, never to be seen again. With the forest safe once more, Elara and her friends returned to Oakenheart. The ancient oak tree spoke with gratitude. "You have saved the Whispering Woods, Elara. Your bravery and the bond you formed with your friends have restored balance and harmony." Elara smiled. "I couldn't have done it without Hoot, Finn, and Lyria. We work together, just as the forest's creatures do." Oakenheart nodded. "Remember, Elara, the true magic lies in unity and love. The Whispering Woods will always welcome you as its guardian and friend." Elara returned to her village, but she visited the forest often, keeping her promise to protect it. The story of her bravery spread far and wide, inspiring others to cherish and protect the natural world. And so, Elara's tale became a legend, a reminder that with courage, unity, and love, even the greatest challenges can be overcome, and the magic of nature can thrive. In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and serene meadows, there stood an ancient tree known as the Whispering Willow. This tree was special not only for its grandeur, its branches draped gracefully like a curtain, but for the magical whispers it was said to carry. Villagers believed that the tree could speak to those who truly listened, sharing secrets and stories from far-off lands. One fine spring morning, a kind-hearted girl named Eloan, who had recently moved to the village, discovered the Whispering Willow. She had heard tales of its magic but had never truly believed them. Eloan was curious and decided to visit the tree. She approached the whispering willow and sat quietly beneath its sweeping branches. The gentle breeze rustled the leaves, creating a soothing melody. Eloan closed her eyes and listened carefully. To her amazement, she began to hear faint whispers, like a conversation carried on the wind. "Find the golden acorn," the whispers said. "It will grant you one wish." Eloan's eyes flew open, and she looked around. The village elders had spoken of a golden acorn in old stories, but no one had ever seen it. Determined to uncover the truth, Eloan set off on a quest to find the mysterious acorn. Her journey took her through meadows, across streams, and into the heart of the nearby forest. The forest was known for its enchanting beauty and hidden secrets. As she walked deeper into the woods, she encountered various creatures: gentle deer, wise owls, and mischievous squirrels. Each one seemed to offer her a clue, guiding her further along her path. At dusk, Eloan came upon a sparkling brook. The water flowed with a soft, golden light, and the air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers. She followed the brook until she reached a small, hidden glade where a magical fountain stood. The fountain was adorned with intricate carvings of woodland creatures and shimmering stones. As Eloan approached the fountain, a tiny figure emerged from behind it, a fairy named Leora. Leora's wings sparkled with a spectrum of colors, and her eyes twinkled with kindness. "You seek the golden acorn," Leora said with a smile. "It is hidden within the heart of the forest, a place where only those with pure intentions can find it." Leora explained that the heart of the forest was a mystical grove that could only be accessed by solving a riddle. She then presented Eloan with a small, ornate box and said, "To find the heart, you must answer this riddle. I have keys but no locks, I have space but no room, you can enter but not go outside." "What am I?" Eloan pondered the riddle, her brow furrowed in thought. After a moment, she realized the answer. "A piano," she said confidently. The box opened with a soft click, and inside was a map to the heart of the forest. Eloan thanked Leora and followed the map through winding paths and ancient trees. The forest seemed to come alive with a soft, magical glow, guiding her steps. At last, Eloan arrived at the heart of the forest. A serene glade with a majestic tree at its center. The tree had branches that shimmered like silver and leaves that glowed with a soft, golden light. Beneath its roots lay a small, golden acorn, bathed in a gentle, ethereal light. With great care, Eloan picked up the golden acorn. As she held it, she felt a warm, comforting energy fill her heart. She made a wish for the well-being and happiness of her new village and its people. As the sun set and the first stars began to twinkle in the sky, the golden acorn's light grew brighter, spreading a warm glow throughout the forest. Eloan returned to the village, where the whispering willow greeted her with a rustling of its leaves, as if thanking her for restoring its magic. The village soon experienced a wave of good fortune and harmony. Crops flourished, families grew closer, and a sense of joy filled the air. The whispering willow's whispers were now filled with tales of hope and happiness, and the villagers celebrated Eloan's bravery and kindness. Eloan continued to visit the whispering willow, listening to its tales and sharing the magic she had found. The golden acorn remained a cherished symbol of the village's prosperity, and the whispering willow stood as a reminder of the power of pure intentions and the magic of discovery. And so, the village thrived under the light of the whispering willow, where dreams and wishes became a part of the everyday magic that brought them all together. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, enchanted forest, there was a small village named Verdantia. Verdantia was a place of wonder, where flowers sang in the breeze and trees whispered ancient secrets. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, but they were most captivated by the legend of the Moonlit Melody, a magical tune said to be played by a mysterious musician who appeared only on the full moon. The legend told of a beautiful, silver harp that was said to grant a single wish to anyone who heard its melody under the light of the full moon. The harp was believed to be hidden in the depths of the Moonlight Grove, a secret place known only to the most determined seekers. Among the villagers was a young girl named Mira. Mira had a heart full of dreams and a deep love for music. She had grown up hearing the tale of the moonlit melody and often imagined what it would be like to hear the magical harp. Her village had recently fallen on hard times, with crops failing and the river running dry. Myra's wish was to restore her village's prosperity and happiness. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Myra decided to embark on a quest to find the moonlit melody. She followed the moon's silvery glow into the forest, guided by a sense of purpose and hope. As Myra walked deeper into the woods, she came upon a path lined with glowing fireflies. The fireflies formed a trail that seemed to lead her toward the heart of the forest. Following their gentle light, Myra soon reached the edge of a glistening, moonlit grove. The grove was filled with an otherworldly glow, and in the center stood an ancient oak tree with a golden door embedded in its trunk. With a deep breath, Myra approached the door and gently pushed it open. Inside was a breathtaking scene, a serene, moonlit glade surrounded by shimmering flowers and soft, twinkling lights. At the center of the glade was a silver harp, its strings glowing with a soft, ethereal light. As Myra stepped closer, a figure emerged from the shadows, a graceful, elven musician with flowing silver hair and a gentle smile. The musician was the guardian of the moonlit melody, and he played the harp with a touch so delicate that it seemed to blend with the very essence of the moonlight. Myra stood in awe as the enchanting melody filled the air. The music was like a whisper of the night wind, a dance of moonbeams, and a symphony of stars. The melody seemed to touch her heart deeply, filling her with a sense of peace and hope. After the musician finished playing, he looked at Myra with kind eyes. "You have found the moonlit melody," he said softly. "The magic of this harp can grant a single wish to one who seeks it with a pure heart. What is your wish?" Myra took a deep breath and spoke with sincerity. "I wish for my village to be restored to its former glory, so that my people may live in happiness and harmony once again." The musician nodded and placed a hand on the harp. The strings began to shimmer with an even brighter light, and a gentle breeze carried the magic of the melody through the forest. Myra watched in wonder as the grove transformed into a radiant tapestry of colors and light. As Myra returned to her village, she was greeted by a marvelous sight. The crops had flourished, the river was flowing abundantly, and the village was filled with a renewed sense of joy and prosperity. The villagers celebrated their good fortune, marveling at the sudden change that had brought them such happiness. Myra's bravery and the magic of the moonlit melody had restored their land, and the tale of her journey became a cherished story in Verdantia. The village thrived under the light of the full moon, and Myra's love for music and her selfless wish became a beacon of hope and inspiration for generations to come. And so, the moonlit melody continued to play softly in the hearts of the villagers, a reminder of the magic that lies within the pure and selfless wishes of those who seek to bring joy to others. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Eldoria, there lived a kind and adventurous girl named Avelini. She resided in a quaint village at the edge of the enchanted forest, a mysterious place filled with magical creatures and ancient secrets. The villagers often told tales of the forest's wonders and dangers, but Avelini's curiosity always drew her to its borders. Avelini lived with her father, a skilled carpenter, and her younger brother, Leo. Their mother had passed away when Leo was just a baby, leaving Avelini to take on the role of caretaker for her family. Despite the hardships, Avelini remained optimistic and full of life. One autumn evening, as the golden leaves fell from the trees, a chilling wind swept through the village. The villagers gathered in the town square to discuss a growing problem. The enchanted forest had begun to spread its roots and vines into the village, causing crops to wither and homes to become entangled. They feared that if the forest's magic continued to encroach, their village would be consumed. An old woman named Matilda, who was known for her wisdom and knowledge of the forest, stepped forward. "The forest is alive with magic," she said, "and it is disturbed by an imbalance. The heart of the forest, a magical crystal that keeps the forest in harmony, has been stolen by a dark sorceress named Morgana. Only by retrieving the crystal can we restore balance and save our village." The villagers were frightened, but Avelini felt a stirring of courage within her. "I will go into the enchanted forest and retrieve the heart of the forest," she declared. Despite her father's protests, Avelini was determined to save her home. Equipped with her father's handcrafted bow, a quiver of arrows, and a small satchel of provisions, Avellini set off into the enchanted forest. The forest was both beautiful and eerie, with towering trees that seemed to whisper secrets and glowing flowers that lit her path. She walked for hours, guided by the light of the full moon. As she ventured deeper, Avellini encountered a fox with fur as white as snow and eyes that sparkled like sapphires. "Greetings, young adventurer," the fox said. "I am Finn, guardian of the forest. I sense your noble quest to retrieve the heart of the forest. I will guide you, but you must prove your worthiness by solving 3 riddles." Avellini nodded, ready for the challenge. Finn's first riddle was, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Avellini thought for a moment before answering, "An echo." Finn nodded in approval. "Very good. The second riddle, I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" "Fire," Avellini replied confidently. "Correct," said Finn. "Now for the final riddle. I am seen in the water if seen in the sky. I am in the rainbow, a jay's feather, and lapis lazuli. What am I?" "Blue," Avellini answered. Finn smiled. "You are indeed worthy. Follow me." The fox led Avellini through winding paths and hidden trails until they reached a dark cave, where Morgana resided. As they approached the cave, Morgana appeared, her eyes glowing with malice. "So, a brave girl comes to steal my prize," she hissed. "You cannot defeat me." Avellini stood tall. "I do not wish to fight. I only seek to restore balance and save my village. The heart of the forest does not belong to you." Morgana laughed, but before she could cast a spell, Finn darted forward, distracting her. Seizing the opportunity, Avellini knocked an arrow and aimed for the crystal hanging around Morgana's neck. With a deep breath, she released the arrow, striking the crystal and shattering its chain. The heart of the forest fell to the ground, and Avellini quickly retrieved it. Morgana screamed in rage, but as Avellini held the crystal high, its light filled the cave, driving the sorceress back. The forest responded to the crystal's power, and Morgana, unable to withstand its pure magic, vanished in a swirl of dark smoke. With the heart of the forest in hand, Avellini and Finn returned to the heart of the enchanted forest. There, they placed the crystal in its rightful place, and the forest immediately began to heal. The roots and vines withdrew from the village, and the balance was restored. Avellini returned to her village a hero. The villagers celebrated her bravery and wisdom, and her father and brother embraced her with tears of joy. The heart of the forest continued to protect the village, ensuring its prosperity for generations to come. And so, Avellini's tale became a cherished legend in Eldoria, a story of courage, kindness, and the magic of a brave heart. And they all lived happily ever after. The enchanted lantern in a faraway land near the mountains touched the sky, and the forests whispered ancient secrets. There was a village named Lumina. Lumina was a place of magic and wonder, known for its vibrant festivals and glowing lanterns that floated high into the night sky. These lanterns were not just for show, they were said to carry wishes to the stars. In this village lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her bright smile and her boundless curiosity. Her greatest dream was to see the world beyond Lumina and to find the legendary enchanted lantern, a mystical artifact said to grant a single wish to anyone who found it. The mysterious map. One crisp autumn evening, as the village prepared for the annual Lantern Festival, Mira discovered an old, dusty map hidden in her grandmother's attic. The map was adorned with intricate symbols and a glowing path leading to the enchanted lantern. Excited by her discovery, Mira decided to embark on a quest to find it. Before she left, Mira's grandmother gave her a small, silver locket that had been passed down through generations. This locket, her grandmother said, will guide you in times of need. Trust in its light and your heart. The journey begins with the map in hand and the locket around her neck. Mira set out on her adventure. The map led her through dense forests, over sparkling rivers, and up steep, misty mountains. Along the way, Mira encountered several magical creatures, a wise old owl, a playful brook sprite, and a gentle giant named Gorm. Each creature offered Mira a piece of advice. The owl spoke of the importance of wisdom and patience, the sprite warned her of hidden challenges, and Gorm advised her to rely on her courage and kindness. The hidden cavern. After days of traveling, Mira arrived at the base of a towering mountain. The map showed that the enchanted lantern was hidden in a secret cavern within the mountain. As she ventured into the dark cavern, the locket began to glow softly, illuminating her path. Inside the cavern, Mira faced a series of trials: a maze of glowing vines, a river of shimmering mist, and a bridge guarded by a riddle-speaking dragon. With the help of the locket's light and her newfound wisdom, Mira overcame each challenge with grace and determination. The enchanted lantern. At last, Mira reached the heart of the cavern. There, on a pedestal bathed in a soft, golden light, was the enchanted lantern. It was more beautiful than she had ever imagined, with delicate patterns of starlight etched into its surface. Mira approached the lantern, her heart pounding with anticipation. She took a deep breath and made her wish: "I wish for the happiness and well-being of my village and everyone in it." As soon as she spoke her wish, the enchanted lantern glowed brightly, and a warm, comforting light filled the cavern. The light seemed to flow through Mira, filling her with a sense of peace and joy. A magical return. When Mira returned to Lumina, she was greeted with astonishment and celebration. The village was flourishing like never before, crops were bountiful, the rivers sparkled with clarity, and the lanterns floated higher and brighter than ever. Mira's bravery and selflessness had brought immense joy and prosperity to her village. The villagers celebrated with a grand festival, lighting lanterns that soared into the night sky, each one carrying a piece of their gratitude and love. A lasting legacy. The story of Mira and the enchanted lantern became a cherished tale in Lumina. Mira was remembered not just as a brave adventurer but as a beacon of hope and kindness. The locket she had used on her journey was placed in a special place in the village square, a reminder of the magic that lies in every act of selflessness and every wish made from the heart. And so, the village of Lumina continued to shine brightly under the light of its lanterns, forever guided by the courage and kindness of a young girl who had sought to bring happiness to her world. Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and lush forests, there was a small village named Dreamhaven. The village was known for its enchanting beauty, with houses built from gingerbread and gardens filled with flowers that bloomed in every color of the rainbow. But the most magical feature of Dreamhaven was a grand, old oak tree in the village square, known as the Tree of Wishes. The Tree of Wishes was believed to hold a magical lantern that could grant a single wish to anyone who truly needed it. However, the lantern had been lost for many years, and the village had not seen its magic for quite some time. The villagers often spoke of how the lantern's light had once brought prosperity and happiness to Dreamhaven. One day, a young girl named Lila, known for her adventurous spirit and kind heart, overheard the villagers discussing their longing for the lantern's magic. She learned that the lantern had been hidden in a forgotten part of the enchanted forest, far beyond the boundaries of Dreamhaven. Determined to find the lantern and help her village, Lila decided to embark on a quest. With a small satchel filled with supplies and a map she had found in an old book, Lila set out into the enchanted forest. The forest was known for its magical creatures and mysterious paths, but Lila was not afraid. She followed the map's directions, winding her way through the towering trees and sparkling streams. As Lila ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered a friendly squirrel named Nutmeg who was busily gathering acorns. Nutmeg noticed Lila's determination and offered to help her find the lantern. "Follow the path of glowing mushrooms," Nutmeg said. "They will lead you to the ancient ruins where the lantern is hidden." Lila thanked Nutmeg and followed the glowing mushrooms that illuminated the path ahead. She soon arrived at the ancient ruins, where ivy-covered stone walls and crumbling columns stood as remnants of a long-lost civilization. In the center of the ruins was a large, ornate door covered in intricate carvings. The door had a riddle inscribed on it, which Lila needed to solve to gain entry. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Lila thought carefully and answered, "Fire." The door creaked open, revealing a hidden chamber bathed in a soft, golden light. At the center of the chamber stood a pedestal with the long-lost lantern of dreams resting upon it. The lantern was covered in dust but still radiated a gentle glow. As Lila approached the lantern, a gentle voice echoed through the chamber. To claim the lantern, you must show a heart full of selflessness and courage. Lila placed her hand on the lantern and said, I wish to bring joy and prosperity back to my village, Dreamhaven. I want to help everyone in need. The lantern's light grew brighter, filling the chamber with a warm, magical glow. The gentle voice continued, You have shown great courage and selflessness. The lantern's magic will now return to your village. With the lantern in hand, Lila made her way back to Dreamhaven. The villagers gathered around as Lila presented the lantern. As she held it up, the lantern's light spread throughout the village, casting a beautiful, shimmering glow over every home and garden. The lantern's magic brought renewed joy and prosperity to Dreamhaven. Crops flourished, gardens bloomed with even more vibrant colors, and the villagers felt a deep sense of happiness and contentment. Lila's bravery and kindness became the stuff of legends in Dreamhaven. The village celebrated her return and the restoration of the Lantern of Dreams. From that day on, the lantern was kept in the Tree of Wishes, a symbol of the magic that exists in selflessness and the power of a single wish made with a pure heart. And so, Dreamhaven thrived under the enchantment of the lantern, and the story of Lila's quest was passed down through generations, reminding everyone that true magic lies in the willingness to help others. Once upon a time, in a hidden valley surrounded by towering mountains, there was a magical village named Mistwood. Mistwood was renowned for its lush greenery and sparkling streams, but what truly set it apart was the Whispering Wind, a gentle breeze that carried secrets and stories from the past. The Whispering Wind was said to be the spirit of the valley, guiding the villagers with its soft murmurings. It was believed that if one listened carefully, the wind would reveal hidden truths and offer guidance. But the wind had grown silent in recent months, leaving the villagers anxious and uncertain. In Mistwood lived a brave and curious girl named Elara. She had always been captivated by the tales told by the Whispering Wind. When the wind stopped whispering, Elara felt a deep sense of loss and knew she had to do something to restore its voice. One evening, under a sky painted with hues of twilight, Elara set out to find the source of the Whispering Wind's silence. With a small satchel of supplies and her loyal companion, a clever fox named Finn, she ventured into the enchanted forest that bordered Mistwood. The forest was alive with vibrant colors and strange sounds, but the deeper Elara and Finn went, the denser the forest became. After hours of walking, they came across a clearing with an ancient, towering oak tree. At the base of the tree was a gnarled old man, his face hidden beneath a wide-brimmed hat. He was carving runes into the earth with a wooden staff. "Greetings, traveler," the old man said without looking up. "I am Orin, the keeper of the ancient whispers. What brings you to this part of the forest?" Elara introduced herself and explained the plight of the Whispering Wind. Orin listened intently and then nodded. "To restore the Whispering Wind, you must retrieve 3 lost tokens of its essence that were scattered long ago: a feather of the sky bird, a drop of the moon's tears, and a petal from the star blossom. These tokens hold the key to the wind's voice." Elara and Finn set off to find the first token, the feather of the sky bird. They climbed to the highest peak in the enchanted forest, where the sky bird was said to dwell. The bird was a magnificent creature with feathers like cascading rainbows. After a delicate negotiation, the sky bird agreed to give up one of its feathers in exchange for a promise: Elara must help its fledglings learn to fly. With the feather in hand, Elara and Finn proceeded to find the second token, a drop of the moon's tears. They reached a serene, silver lake under the light of the full moon. The moon's tears were said to fall from the sky into the lake once every 100 years. Elara waited patiently until a single drop fell into the water. She gently collected it in a vial, as the moon's reflection smiled down upon her. For the final token, the petal from the star blossom, they ventured to the heart of the forest, where a mystical garden bloomed under starlight. The star blossom was a rare flower that only bloomed under the most brilliant of stars. Elara carefully picked a single petal, ensuring that the flower remained intact and healthy. With all three tokens in her possession, Elara and Finn returned to the ancient oak tree where Orin awaited them. She presented the feather, the drop of moonlight, and the petal, and Orin began to weave them together with a spell. As Orin completed the spell, a soft, melodious whisper began to flow through the forest. The whispering wind had returned, its voice carrying stories and secrets once more. The breeze picked up, weaving through Mistwood and bringing with it a renewed sense of wonder and guidance. The villagers of Mistwood rejoiced as the whispering wind's voice returned, guiding them with its gentle murmurs. Elara's bravery and perseverance became legendary, and she was honored as the village's heroine. And so, Mistwood thrived once more under the watchful embrace of the whispering wind, and Elara's story became a cherished tale of courage and hope, reminding all who heard it that even the quietest whispers hold great power. Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom called Eldoria, there was a shimmering lake known as Silver Lake. The lake was famous for its crystal-clear waters and the way it reflected the moonlight like liquid silver. However, it was also said to harbor a great secret that no one had ever uncovered. In the village of Rivendell, near the lake, lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was adventurous and loved exploring the woods and streams that surrounded his village. He often heard tales about Silver Lake's mysterious past but had never ventured too close to it, as the villagers believed it was enchanted and avoided the lake after dark. One evening, as the full moon cast a silver glow over the lake, Finn decided it was time to uncover the secret of Silver Lake. Armed with a lantern, a notebook, and his trusty dog, Bramble, he set out towards the lake under the light of the moon. As Finn approached the lake, he noticed that the water seemed to glow even more intensely. The light danced across the surface, creating intricate patterns. He followed the edge of the lake until he reached an ancient willow tree with a hollow trunk. Inside the hollow, he found an old, ornate key. Curious, Finn took the key and continued around the lake until he came across an old stone archway covered in vines. The archway led to a hidden entrance beneath the water's edge. Heart pounding with excitement, Finn used the key to unlock a hidden latch on the archway, which slowly creaked open. Bramble barked with excitement as Finn entered the hidden passage. The passageway led to an underground chamber bathed in the soft glow of bioluminescent plants. In the center of the chamber was a pedestal with a magnificent silver box. The silver box was intricately engraved with symbols and patterns that seemed to shimmer with a light of their own. Finn carefully opened the box, and inside, he found an ancient scroll and a delicate silver locket. As Finn unrolled the scroll, he saw that it was a map showing a constellation in the night sky and instructions for a ritual to be performed under the full moon. The scroll explained that the silver locket was a magical artifact that could only be activated by someone with a heart full of courage and kindness. With the instructions in hand, Finn and Bramble returned to the lake. As the full moon rose high in the sky, Finn followed the map's instructions and placed the locket in the center of the lake. The moonlight reflected off the locket, creating a mesmerizing pattern on the water. Suddenly, the water of Silver Lake began to ripple, and a soft, melodic song echoed through the chamber. From the depths of the lake, a beautiful mermaid named Elara emerged. She was adorned with shimmering scales and had a crown made of moonlight. Elara thanked Finn for finding the locket and performing the ritual. She explained that she had been guarding the secret of Silver Lake for centuries. The lake's magic had protected her and her kin, and the locket had been the key to maintaining the enchantment. Elara revealed that the true secret of the lake was its power to grant one wish to someone who proved their bravery and kindness. She asked Finn to make his wish. Finn thought carefully. He realized that while he could wish for anything, what mattered most was the well-being of his village and the protection of the magical lake. He wished for the lake to remain a source of wonder and harmony for the kingdom, ensuring its magic would continue to benefit the people of Eldoria. Elara smiled warmly at Finn. "Your wish is wise and selfless. The magic of Silver Lake will remain, and its light will continue to guide and inspire." With that, Elara and the magical water of the lake began to retreat back into the depths. The silver locket, now glowing with a steady light, floated back to the surface, and Finn retrieved it to keep as a symbol of his adventure. As Finn returned to Rivendell, he shared his tale with the villagers. They were amazed by the story and celebrated the continued magic of Silver Lake. The lake became a cherished part of their lives, a place of reflection and wonder. And so, the legend of Silver Lake grew, a reminder of the bravery and kindness of a young boy who uncovered its secret and made a wish for the greater good. The lake continued to shine with its silver light, guiding and inspiring all who visited. Once upon a time, in the peaceful village of Alderwood, there was a legend about an enchanted garden hidden deep within the Whispering Forest. This garden was said to be the home of the Golden Bloom, a magical flower that could grant one wish to anyone who found it with a pure heart. The garden could only be found during the night of the golden harvest, when the full moon cast a golden glow over the land. In a small cottage at the edge of Alderwood lived a kind and curious girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her love of adventure and her deep connection with nature. Her best friend was a wise and loyal owl named Orion, who had been with her since she was a child. Orion had sharp eyes and could see things that others could not, making him the perfect companion for any journey. One day, as the golden harvest approached, Lyra found an old, dusty map hidden in the attic of her cottage. The map was marked with strange symbols and led to a place deep within the Whispering Forest. Along with the map was a note that read, "Follow the map on the night of the golden harvest to find the enchanted garden and the golden bloom." With excitement in her heart, Lyra decided to embark on the journey to find the golden bloom. She believed that with its magic, she could wish for the happiness and prosperity of her village. Orion, ever the faithful friend, perched on her shoulder, ready to guide her through the unknown. As the sun set and the full moon rose, casting a golden glow over the land, Lyra and Orion set out on their adventure. The Whispering Forest was a place of wonder and mystery, with tall trees that seemed to whisper secrets to those who passed by. The first challenge they encountered was the Maze of Shadows. This was a labyrinth of tall hedges that shifted and changed with every step. To navigate through it, Lyra needed to find the light hidden within the shadows. As they entered the maze, Orion's sharp eyes noticed a faint glow coming from a hidden alcove. Lyra followed Orion's lead and discovered a small lantern that emitted a soft, golden light. Holding the lantern high, Lyra and Orion navigated through the shifting hedges until they emerged on the other side. Next, they arrived at the River of Reflections. This river was known for its crystal-clear waters that reflected not only the sky but also the deepest desires of those who looked into it. To cross the river, Lyra needed to understand the true nature of her wish. As she gazed into the water, she saw her reflection and the reflection of her village. She realized that her wish was not just for herself, but for the well-being of everyone in Alderwood. With this clarity, the waters of the river parted, revealing a stone bridge that allowed them to cross safely. Finally, they reached the Valley of Echoes. This valley was filled with the sound of distant voices, repeating every word spoken within it. To find the way to the enchanted garden, Lyra needed to listen carefully and follow the echoes of truth. Orion, with his keen hearing, helped Lyra discern the true echoes from the false ones. They followed the path of the true echoes, which led them to a hidden entrance at the base of a large, ancient tree. Beyond the entrance lay the enchanted garden, a place of unparalleled beauty. The garden was filled with flowers of every color, and at its center stood the golden bloom, glowing with a light that seemed to come from the very heart of the moon. Lyra approached the golden bloom with a heart full of hope and spoke her wish aloud, "I wish for the happiness and prosperity of Alderwood, so that our village may thrive in peace and harmony." As Lyra's words echoed through the garden, the golden bloom began to glow even brighter, and its magic spread throughout the forest and beyond. The light of the golden bloom filled the land, bringing life and abundance to Alderwood and all its people. When Lyra and Orion returned to their village, they found it transformed. The fields were lush with crops, the animals were healthy and content, and the people were filled with a deep sense of joy and well-being. The story of Lyra and Orion's adventure and the magic of the golden bloom became a beloved tale in Alderwood, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of selfless wishes and the magic that can be found in the heart. And so, the enchanted garden remained a place of wonder and mystery, where dreams and wishes came to life under the light of the golden harvest. The end. Once upon a time, in a coastal village called Seabreeze, there stood a magnificent lighthouse at the edge of a rocky cliff. This lighthouse was not only a guide for sailors but also a source of magical light that kept the village safe from stormy seas and hidden dangers. In this village lived a young girl named Isla. Isla was known for her curiosity and love for the sea. Every day, she would explore the shores, collecting seashells and dreaming of adventures beyond the horizon. Her greatest wish was to one day climb to the top of the lighthouse and see the world from its magnificent view. One evening, a fierce storm rolled into Seabreeze. The winds howled, and the sea churned violently. As the storm raged, the lighthouse's light began to flicker and dim, casting a shadow of fear over the village. The villagers gathered, worried that the lighthouse's magic was failing. Isla, feeling a deep sense of responsibility, decided to find out what was wrong. She made her way through the storm to the lighthouse, determined to restore its light. With each step, the wind howled and the rain pelted down, but Isla's resolve was unwavering. When she reached the lighthouse, she discovered that the great lantern at the top was shrouded in an eerie, dark fog. Isla knew she had to find a way to clear the fog and restore the light. Remembering the tales her grandmother had told her, she recalled that the lighthouse was guarded by a magical sea spirit named Thalassa, who could only be summoned in times of great need. With the storm raging around her, Isla climbed the spiral staircase to the top of the lighthouse. As she reached the lantern room, she saw Thalassa, a graceful spirit with shimmering blue hair and eyes like the deep sea. "Welcome, brave Isla," Thalassa said with a voice like the soothing sound of waves. "I see you have come to save the lighthouse." Isla nodded. "The light is fading, and the storm is growing worse. How can I help?" Thalassa explained, "The lighthouse's magic is tied to the sea and the moon. The storm has disturbed the balance. You must restore it by finding the 3 lost moonstones, which have been scattered across the ocean. Each moonstone holds a piece of the lighthouse's power." Without hesitation, Isla agreed to the task. Thalassa gave her a magical compass that would guide her to the moonstones. With a burst of courage, Isla set out into the stormy sea, guided by the compass and her determination. The first moonstone was hidden in a submerged cavern. Isla dove into the turbulent waters and, with the help of her underwater breathing charm given by Thalassa, she navigated through the cavern. There, amidst the glowing coral and sea creatures, she found the first moonstone nestled in an ancient chest. The second moonstone was located on the back of a giant sea turtle. Isla spotted the turtle amidst the waves and, with great care, she retrieved the moonstone from its shell, all while making sure not to harm the gentle creature. The final moonstone was hidden in the heart of a swirling whirlpool. Using all her strength and skill, Isla navigated the whirlpool's treacherous currents and grasped the moonstone from the depths, feeling a surge of magical energy as she did. With the 3 moonstones safely in her possession, Isla returned to the lighthouse. The storm had calmed slightly, and she climbed back up to the lantern room. Thalassa awaited her, and together they placed the moonstones into the lantern's base. As the moonstones were set in place, a brilliant light burst forth, cutting through the darkness and dispelling the fog. The lighthouse's magic was restored, and its light shone more brightly than ever before. The storm subsided, and the sea grew calm once more. The villagers of Seabreeze celebrated Isla's bravery and the return of the lighthouse's light. They honored her with a grand feast and declared her the guardian of the lighthouse. From that day on, Isla continued to explore the sea and protect the lighthouse, and Thalassa remained as a friend and ally. And so, the lighthouse stood tall, guiding sailors safely home and shining its light far and wide. Isla's courage became a legend, inspiring others to face their fears and seek out the magic within their hearts. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was a small kingdom nestled between snow-capped mountains and a shimmering lake. This kingdom was known for its beautiful gardens, but the most magnificent of all was the moonlit garden. It was said that this garden only bloomed under the light of the full moon, and its flowers had the power to heal any ailment and bring peace to troubled hearts. The moonlit garden was the creation of Queen Seraphina, who was loved by all for her wisdom and kindness. she tended to the garden herself, ensuring that it remained a place of beauty and solace. However, as the years passed, Queen Seraphina grew old and frail. The kingdom began to worry about who would care for the garden when she was gone. In a nearby village, there lived a young girl named Elara. Elara had a special gift: she could speak to plants and understand their needs. She often helped her neighbors with their gardens, and her small cottage was always surrounded by vibrant, blooming flowers. When Elara heard about Queen Seraphina's plight, she felt a calling deep within her heart to help. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Elara made her way to the palace. She approached the gates and requested an audience with the queen. The guards, knowing of her reputation, allowed her in. Elara found Queen Seraphina resting in the moonlit garden, her face illuminated by the soft glow of the moon. "Your Majesty," Elara said with a bow, "I have come to offer my help. I wish to tend to the moonlit garden and ensure it continues to bloom and bring joy to our kingdom." Queen Seraphina looked at Elara with kind, knowing eyes. "I have heard of your gift, Elara. The garden has whispered your name to me. But tending the moonlit garden is no ordinary task. It requires more than just a green thumb, it requires a heart full of love and dedication." Elara nodded, her determination unwavering. "I understand, Your Majesty. I promise to care for the garden with all my heart." The queen smiled and handed Elara a small, silver key. "This key will unlock the heart of the garden. Use it wisely, and remember that the true magic of the moonlit garden lies in the love you give to it." From that day on, Elara became the guardian of the moonlit garden. She spent her days tending to the flowers, talking to them, and ensuring they were healthy and happy. Every full moon, the garden would bloom in all its glory, and people from all over the kingdom would come to marvel at its beauty and seek its healing powers. Elara's love and dedication brought new life to the garden. The flowers bloomed more vibrantly than ever before, and their healing properties grew stronger. The kingdom thrived, and Queen Seraphina, now at peace, spent her remaining days enjoying the garden she had created. Years passed, and Elara's bond with the moonlit garden deepened. She learned the secrets of each flower, understanding their unique needs and abilities. The garden, in turn, flourished under her care, becoming a place of unparalleled beauty and magic. One night, as Elara walked through the garden under the full moon, she heard a soft, melodious voice. It was the spirit of Queen Seraphina, who had become one with the garden she loved so dearly. "Elara," the spirit said, "you have done more than just care for the garden. You have made it your own, and in doing so, you have brought great joy to our kingdom. The moonlit garden will continue to bloom as long as there are hearts like yours to tend to it." Elara felt a warm, comforting presence envelop her. She knew that Queen Seraphina would always be with her, guiding her and watching over the garden. She vowed to continue her work, ensuring that the moonlit garden remained a place of healing and peace for generations to come. The story of Elara and the moonlit garden became a cherished legend in the kingdom. People would tell tales of the young girl who could speak to plants and the garden that bloomed under the light of the full moon. It became a symbol of love, dedication, and the magic that comes from caring for the world around us. And so, Elara and the moonlit garden lived on, bringing beauty and healing to all who visited. The kingdom flourished, united by the love and magic of the garden, and they all lived happily ever after. The Lantern of Dreams. Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom nestled between towering mountains and shimmering lakes, there was a charming village named Luminera. This village was famous for its breathtaking lantern festival, held each year on the eve of the winter solstice. The festival was renowned not only for its glowing lanterns that lit up the night sky but also for a magical lantern called the Lantern of Dreams. The Lantern of Dreams was said to have the power to make one heartfelt wish come true, but only to those who approached it with pure intentions and a generous heart. Every year, the lantern was displayed in the village square, waiting for the right person to make a wish. In this village lived a kind-hearted young girl named Mia. Mia was known throughout Luminera for her generosity and her beautiful songs that could soothe anyone's worries. Despite her kind nature, Mia's family struggled. Her father had lost his job as a blacksmith, and her mother was ill, leaving Mia to care for her younger brother and keep their small house in order. As the Lantern Festival approached, Mia hoped that if she could make a wish at the Lantern of Dreams, it might help her family overcome their difficulties. The festival begins on the night of the winter solstice. The village was alive with music and laughter. Lanterns of every shape and color floated gently into the night sky, creating a dazzling display of lights. In the center of the village square, the Lantern of Dreams stood proudly, its surface shimmering with a soft, golden glow. Mia watched from the sidelines, her heart full of hope. She had prepared a small basket of bread and apples, which she shared with the festival goers, ensuring that everyone had something to eat. She knew that helping others was important, and she hoped that her selfless acts would be rewarded. A chance encounter. As the night wore on, Mia found herself near the Lantern of Dreams. She was admiring its beauty when an elderly man approached her. He wore a cloak with silver thread and had a kind smile. He introduced himself as the keeper of the lantern. The keeper said, "To make a wish with the Lantern of Dreams, you must come with a heart full of kindness." "Tell me, what do you wish for?" Mia hesitated, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. She took a deep breath and said, "I wish for my family to be healed and for us to have enough to get by. But more than that, I wish for everyone in our village to find happiness and prosperity." The keeper's eyes sparkled with approval. "A noble wish indeed," he said. "Place your hands on the lantern and speak your wish aloud." The magic unfolds. Mia approached the Lantern of Dreams and gently placed her hands on its cool, golden surface. She closed her eyes and repeated her wish with all her heart. As she spoke, the lantern began to glow brighter, and a soft, melodic hum filled the air. The golden light from the lantern spread outwards, illuminating the entire village with a warm, comforting glow. As the light touched the village, Mia noticed something miraculous. The lantern's magic began to work. Her family's home was repaired and became warm and welcoming. Her father received a new opportunity for work, and her mother's health began to improve. The village also flourished, the fields grew abundant, and the village's trades and crafts prospered. A heartfelt celebration. The villagers were amazed at the sudden turn of events and gathered to celebrate. They threw a grand feast in honor of Mia and the magic of the Lantern of Dreams. Mia's family was surrounded by joy and gratitude, and the entire village thrived as never before. Mia's selfless wish had not only transformed her own family's fortunes but had also brought prosperity to the entire village. Her kindness and generosity were celebrated, and her story became a cherished legend in Luminera. The legacy of the lantern. From that day on, the Lantern of Dreams was more than just a magical artifact, it became a symbol of hope and kindness. The festival continued to be a joyous occasion, reminding everyone of the power of selflessness and the magic that comes from a pure heart. And so, Luminera continued to shine brightly, forever blessed by the magic of the Lantern of Dreams in the heart of one extraordinary young girl. Once upon a time, in a quaint village called Willowbrook, there was a hidden valley known for its magical flowers. These flowers, called Lumina Blooms, glowed with a soft light and were said to grant a single wish to anyone who found them. The valley was protected by an ancient guardian, a gentle giant named Bramble, who watched over the flowers with great care. In Willowbrook lived a young girl named Mira, who had a heart full of wonder and dreams. Mira had always been fascinated by the stories of the Lumina Blooms and often daydreamed about discovering them. Her best friend was a sprightly squirrel named Nutmeg, who loved to explore and had a keen sense of adventure. One morning, Mira and Nutmeg set out on a quest to find the Lumina Blooms. They packed a small basket with provisions and followed the winding path that led to the hidden valley. The path was lined with vibrant wildflowers and ancient oak trees, each whispering tales of old. As they approached the entrance to the valley, they encountered a large, ornate gate covered in ivy. The gate was guarded by a stone statue of Bramble, the giant. Beside the gate was an inscription that read, "To enter the valley and find the Lumina Blooms, you must pass 3 trials of heart and courage. Only those with true intentions may proceed." Mira and Nutmeg exchanged determined looks and stepped through the gate, entering the magical valley. The first trial awaited them, the trial of kindness. They found themselves in a meadow filled with magical creatures in distress. A family of fireflies had lost their way, and a nest of baby birds needed help. Mira and Nutmeg worked together to guide the fireflies back to their home and to care for the baby birds. Mira gently placed the birds back in their nest, and Nutmeg used his nimble paws to gather food for them. The creatures thanked them warmly, and the meadow seemed to sparkle with gratitude. Having successfully completed the first trial, they were guided further into the valley by a soft, golden light. The second trial was the trial of wisdom. They arrived at a serene pond surrounded by floating lily pads. In the center of the pond was a riddle-inscribed stone. Speak the truth to find your way. What is the key to endless day? Mira pondered the riddle, thinking about the stories she had heard. The key to endless day is the sun, she finally answered. As soon as she spoke, the stone glowed warmly, and a pathway of glowing lily pads appeared, leading them to the next part of the valley. Their final challenge was the trial of bravery. They reached a clearing where a fierce storm was raging. The wind howled and lightning crackled. In the center of the storm stood a large, ancient tree that appeared to be in trouble. Bramble, the guardian giant, was struggling to hold the tree upright. Mira, though frightened by the storm, took a deep breath and, with Nutmeg by her side, approached the tree. She grabbed hold of its branches and used all her strength to help Bramble. Nutmeg scampered up the tree, offering support and encouragement. Together, they managed to steady the tree and protect it from the storm. As the storm subsided, Bramble, now free from his burden, stood tall and smiled warmly at Mira and Nutmeg. You have shown great kindness, wisdom, and bravery. The Lumina blooms are yours to find. Bramble led them to a hidden grove where the Lumina blooms grew in abundance. The flowers glowed softly, casting a gentle light over the grove. Mira and Nutmeg marveled at their beauty and, as the legend promised, were granted a single wish. Mira wished for the happiness and prosperity of Willowbrook and its people. As they made their way back to the village, the Lumina Bloom's magic began to spread, bringing newfound joy and prosperity to Willowbrook. The villagers celebrated Mira and Nutmeg's bravery and kindness with a grand feast, and the valley became a place of wonder and delight for all. And so, the village of Willowbrook thrived under the magic of the Lumina Blooms, forever touched by the courage and kindness of a brave girl and her loyal squirrel friend. The end. In a serene valley surrounded by towering, ancient trees, there lay a hidden forest known as the Forest of Forgotten Dreams. Legend spoke of this mystical place where dreams that had been lost or abandoned over time took root and blossomed into something extraordinary. The forest was said to be enchanted, and only those with pure intentions and a brave heart could venture within its depths. In the nearby village of Meadowbrook, there lived a young woman named Ava. Ava was known for her kindness and creativity. She was a painter who brought color and life to even the dullest days. Despite her joy in painting, Ava felt a growing sense of melancholy, as if a dream she once cherished was slipping away from her grasp. One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned a deep shade of violet, Ava was wandering near the edge of the Forest of Forgotten Dreams. She paused, captivated by the beauty and mystery of the forest. She had heard the legends but had never dared to enter. Tonight, she felt a strange pull, as if something inside her was urging her to explore the forest. With a mix of curiosity and trepidation, Ava stepped into the forest. The moment she crossed the threshold, she was enveloped in a shimmering, silvery mist. The trees were tall and majestic, their leaves shimmering with a soft, otherworldly glow. As Ava walked, she noticed that the forest was filled with the gentle hum of hidden melodies and the occasional whisper of the wind. After walking for what seemed like hours, Ava arrived at a clearing bathed in moonlight. At the center of the clearing stood an enormous tree with bark that sparkled like stardust. Its branches were adorned with countless glowing orbs that floated gently in the air, casting a warm, enchanting light. Approaching the tree, Ava saw a figure sitting beneath its branches. It was an elderly woman with a kind, wise face and a flowing robe that seemed to be woven from threads of moonlight. The woman looked up and smiled as Ava drew near. "Welcome, traveler," the woman said in a voice as soothing as a lullaby. I am Seraphina, the guardian of the forest. You have entered the forest of forgotten dreams, a place where dreams long lost are given new life. How may I assist you on your journey? Ava hesitated before speaking. I feel as if I have lost a dream that once meant everything to me. I hope that perhaps this forest might help me find it again. Seraphina nodded thoughtfully. The dreams that come to this forest are like seeds that need nurturing. They may not always be as they once were, but they often reveal their essence in new and wondrous ways. Tell me, what was your dream? Ava took a deep breath. I once dreamed of painting a masterpiece that would capture the beauty and magic of the world around us. But lately, I feel as if that dream is slipping away from me, lost among the ordinary and mundane. Seraphina smiled warmly. Follow me, and we shall see what the forest reveals. Seraphina led Ava to a small, tranquil pond at the edge of the clearing. The surface of the pond was perfectly still, reflecting the glowing orbs above like a sheet of liquid glass. As Ava gazed into the pond, she saw not just her own reflection but also visions of her past paintings and dreams. Each vision was vibrant and filled with life, but some were also tinged with shadows of doubt and fear. The pond began to ripple, and from its depths, a single, radiant flower emerged. The flower was unlike any Ava had ever seen. Its petals shimmered with iridescent colors that shifted with every movement. The flower seemed to beckon Ava closer. This is the bloom of inspiration, Seraphina said. It holds the essence of dreams and creativity. To find your lost dream, you must nurture this bloom and allow it to guide you. Ava carefully picked the bloom and cradled it in her hands. She felt a surge of warmth and light as the flower's magic intertwined with her own. She realized that the dream she had lost was not gone but had become a part of her, waiting to be rediscovered and expressed anew. With the bloom of inspiration in her care, Ava made her way back to her village. She found that the experience had rekindled her passion and creativity. She began to paint again, infusing her work with the vibrant essence of the bloom. Her paintings captured not only the beauty of the world but also the magic and wonders she had rediscovered within herself. The villagers marveled at her work, which seemed to bring a new kind of joy and enchantment to their lives. Ava's paintings became renowned for their ability to inspire and uplift, and she realized that her dream had not been lost but had been transformed into something even more beautiful. As the years passed, the forest of forgotten dreams remained a place of wonder and magic. Ava often visited the forest, finding new inspiration and dreams among its glowing orbs and magical blooms. Her story was passed down through generations as a reminder that dreams, once lost, could always be found again if one followed their heart with courage and creativity. And so, the legend of Ava and the bloom of inspiration continued to inspire countless others. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by dense forests and rolling hills, there was a small, humble cottage owned by a kind woman named Elara. Elara was known for her generous spirit and her love for all living things. Her garden was always blooming, and animals from far and wide came to her for help. One evening, as the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the land, Elara was tending to her garden when she noticed a strange, golden light flickering among the flowers. Curious, she followed the light and discovered an old, dusty lantern buried under a pile of leaves. Elara carefully picked up the lantern and brushed off the dirt. The lantern was ornately decorated with intricate patterns of stars and moons. It seemed to hum softly in her hands, as if it held a secret. As she brought the lantern inside and placed it on her mantle, the golden light grew brighter. With a soft click, the lantern's door opened, and out floated a tiny, shimmering fairy. The fairy's wings sparkled like diamonds, and her smile was as warm as sunlight. "Thank you for freeing me," the fairy said with a voice as gentle as a summer breeze. "I am Leora, the guardian fairy of wishes. For freeing me, I will grant you one wish." Elara was amazed but also a bit puzzled. She thought about what she might wish for. She had everything she needed and wanted nothing for herself. After a moment's reflection, she said, "I wish for a way to help everyone in our village." Leora's eyes twinkled, and she waved her wand, sending a burst of sparkling light into the lantern. Your wish is granted. This lantern will now shine with a magical light that can bring joy and aid to those in need. But remember, the light only works if the heart behind it is pure." With that, Leora vanished back into the lantern, leaving Elara with a sense of wonder and responsibility. The next day, a storm hit the village, leaving the villagers in a state of disarray. Homes were damaged, and spirits were low. Elara knew this was the time to use the lantern's magic. She carried the lantern through the village, holding it high so that its warm, golden light could shine upon everyone. Wherever the light touched, flowers began to bloom, broken things were mended, and smiles appeared on the villagers' faces. The lantern's light spread joy and hope, transforming the village into a place of renewed happiness. But as the days went by, Elara noticed something even more magical. The lantern's light began to reveal hidden talents in the villagers. The blacksmith, who had always been gruff, found joy in creating beautiful sculptures. The baker, once shy, discovered a talent for storytelling that brought laughter to the village. The lantern's light helped each person find their own unique gift and encouraged them to share it with others. One evening, as the village celebrated their newfound joy and prosperity, Elara noticed that the lantern's light had dimmed. She was concerned but remembered Leora's words about a pure heart. She knew that the lantern's magic depended on the kindness of the one who carried it. Elara thought deeply and realized that the true magic was not in the lantern itself but in the way it had brought the villagers together and helped them discover their own potential. She decided to pass the lantern on to someone else in need, trusting that its magic would continue to spread. As she prepared to hand over the lantern, Leora reappeared, her eyes shining with approval. "You have used the lantern's magic wisely, Elara. The light it gave was a reflection of your own kindness and generosity. Remember, the greatest magic of all is the kindness in your heart." Elara smiled and handed the lantern to a young woman who had just moved to the village. She hoped that the lantern would continue to bring joy and inspiration to others. And so, the village thrived, and the enchanted lantern continued its journey, lighting up the lives of those who needed it most. Elara's selflessness and the lantern's magic became a cherished story in the village, a reminder that true magic lies in the kindness we share with others. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in a lush, green valley bordered by towering mountains, lay a village named Eldoria. Eldoria was known for its beautiful gardens and friendly inhabitants, but most of all, it was renowned for the legendary silver tree that stood in the heart of the village. The silver tree was said to be enchanted, its leaves shimmering like silver in the sunlight and its branches humming a soothing, magical song at dusk. The villagers believed that the silver tree had been planted by the ancient forest spirits and that its song brought peace and prosperity to Eldoria. Each year, during the Moon Festival, the villagers gathered around the tree to listen to its melodious tune and celebrate their good fortune. One day, as the Moon Festival approached, a dark cloud seemed to settle over the village. The silver tree's song had grown faint, and its once sparkling leaves had lost their luster. The villagers were deeply troubled, for they knew that if the tree's song faded completely, their prosperity and happiness would be at risk. Among the villagers was a young girl named Elara. She was known for her adventurous spirit and her love for the village's traditions. Determined to save the silver tree, Elara decided to embark on a quest to discover the source of the problem. Elara approached the village elder, a wise woman named Grandmother Leora. "Grandmother Leora, what can I do to restore the silver tree's song?" Elara asked. Grandmother Leora sighed. "The silver tree's song is tied to an ancient enchantment. It is said that the heart of the tree, a magical crystal known as the Moonstone, has been taken. To restore its song, you must journey to the Shadow Peaks and retrieve the Moonstone." With a resolute heart, Elara set off on her quest. The Shadow Peaks were a range of mountains known for their rugged terrain and mysterious legends. Armed with a map, a sturdy staff, and a small bag of provisions, Elara began her climb. As she ascended the mountains, she faced several challenges. The first was a deep chasm with no visible bridge. As she pondered her way across, she noticed a series of stepping stones made of shimmering stone appearing and disappearing across the chasm. Summoning her courage, Elara timed her jumps carefully and made her way across safely. Her next challenge was to navigate through the Whispering Caves, a labyrinthine network of tunnels filled with confusing echoes. In the cave, a mischievous voice spoke to her. To find the right path, you must answer this: what has a heart that doesn't beat? Elara thought deeply and then answered, an artichoke. The voice chuckled and the path ahead cleared, leading Elara to a hidden chamber. There, she found a small, silver chest guarded by a gentle dragon with sparkling scales. You seek the moonstone, the dragon said with a warm voice. It is in this chest, but to retrieve it, you must prove your bravery and kindness. The dragon set 3 tasks for Elara. 1. Find a healing herb. Elara ventured into the nearby forest and found a rare herb that could heal a wounded creature. She used it to mend the wing of a small, injured bird. 2. Solve the riddle of the stars. The dragon presented a constellation map with a riddle about the stars. Elara solved it by aligning the stars correctly, revealing the hidden path. 3. Show compassion. Elara encountered a band of lost mountain goats who needed help finding their way home. She guided them safely back to their herd. Having completed the tasks, the dragon opened the chest and handed Elara the moonstone. It glowed with a soft, silver light, pulsating with the same energy as the silver tree's lost psalm. With the moonstone in her possession, Elara made her way back to Eldoria. As she approached the village, she saw the silver tree's branches drooping and the leaves dull. She placed the moonstone at the base of the tree, and a brilliant light erupted, restoring the tree's shimmering leaves and filling the air with its melodious song. The village erupted in joyous celebration as the silver tree's song rang out stronger and more beautiful than ever before. The villagers praised Elara for her bravery and kindness, and the Moon Festival was celebrated with renewed fervor. Elara's adventure became a cherished story in Eldoria, a tale of courage and the power of a pure heart. The silver tree continued to thrive, its song a reminder of the harmony between the village and the magical forest that surrounded it. And so, the village of Eldoria lived in happiness and prosperity, forever enchanted by the song of the silver tree and the brave girl who restored its magic. In the heart of the enchanted forest, where ancient trees whispered secrets and magical creatures roamed freely, there was a small village named Everwood. Everwood was known for its enchanting beauty and its mysterious moonlit lake, which was said to hold a magical secret. Each month, on the night of the full moon, a soft, melodious tune would rise from the lake, captivating anyone who heard it. The source of the melody was unknown, and despite many villagers' attempts to discover its origin, no one had succeeded. The legend spoke of a magical night when the melody would reveal its secrets to a heart pure and true. In this village lived a young girl named Elara, known for her love of music and her kind heart. Elara had always been drawn to the moonlit lake and its mysterious melody. She believed that the melody was a gift and was determined to uncover its source. One evening, as the full moon began to rise, Elara made her way to the edge of the moonlit lake. The lake was bathed in silver light, and the melody began to drift through the air, more enchanting than ever. Elara closed her eyes and let the music wash over her, feeling its magic in her heart. Determined to uncover the secret, Elara sat by the lake and sang along with the melody. Her voice blended with the music, creating a harmony that seemed to resonate with the very essence of the lake. As she sang, she noticed a soft glow beneath the water's surface. Suddenly, a gentle ripple spread across the lake, and a shimmering figure emerged. It was a beautiful water nymph named Lyra, with flowing hair that sparkled like moonlight and eyes as deep as the lake itself. "You have a pure heart and a love for music," Lyra said, her voice like a soft breeze. "The melody you hear is a gift from the Moonlight Muse, a magical being who dwells within the lake. Each full moon, the muse sings a melody that can only be heard by those who truly appreciate its beauty." Elara's eyes widened with wonder. "Can you tell me more about the Moonlight Muse?" Lyra smiled. "The Moonlight Muse is a guardian of the lake and the protector of harmony in the enchanted forest. Long ago, the muse created the melody to bring peace and joy to those who listened. However, the muse's power has waned over time, and the melody has become harder to hear. Elara felt a surge of empathy for the muse. Is there a way I can help? Lyra's expression grew serious. To restore the muse's power, you must embark on a journey to the heart of the enchanted forest and find the Crystal of Harmony. This crystal has the power to renew the muse's magic and restore the melody to its full glory. Elara agreed to undertake the quest. Lyra guided her to the edge of the forest, where the path to the heart of the forest began. The forest was filled with magical creatures and enchanted wonders, but Elara's resolve and kindness shone brightly, guiding her through each challenge she faced. As she ventured deeper into the forest, Elara encountered a wise old owl named Orion, who offered her guidance. To find the Crystal of Harmony, you must pass 3 trials, Orion explained. The first trial is to find the hidden grove, where the crystal is kept. The second trial is to prove your bravery by facing your greatest fear. The third trial is to show your compassion by helping those in need. Elara followed Orion's advice and embarked on the trials. She used her musical talent to find the hidden grove, where the crystal was guarded by an illusionary maze. By singing a lullaby that resonated with the forest's magic, she revealed the true path to the crystal. For the second trial, Elara faced her greatest fear, being alone and lost. With courage and determination, she reminded herself of her purpose and sang a song of hope and bravery, overcoming her fear. For the final trial, Elara encountered a group of lost forest creatures who needed help finding their way home. She guided them with kindness and music, showing her compassion and earning their gratitude. At last, Elara reached the Crystal of Harmony. She carefully picked it up, feeling its warmth and magic. With the crystal in hand, she returned to the moonlit lake. As she approached, the lake began to shimmer and glow with renewed brilliance. Lyra appeared once more, and Elara placed the crystal in the lake's heart. A brilliant light enveloped the lake, and the Moonlight Muse emerged, its presence filling the air with a harmonious melody that resonated throughout the enchanted forest. The Muse's song was now more enchanting and powerful than ever, bringing peace and joy to all who heard it. Elara had restored the Muse's magic, and the melody continued to inspire and uplift the village of Everwood. The villagers celebrated the return of the magical melody, and Elara's bravery and kindness became the stuff of legend. From that day on, the moonlit lake remained a beacon of harmony and enchantment, a reminder of the magic that could be found in the purest of hearts. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by emerald forests and sparkling rivers, there was a grand castle ruled by a wise and kind king. His daughter, Princess Aurora, was known for her beauty and generosity. She was beloved by everyone in the kingdom, but she had one sadness: she could not see her own reflection. Her mirror had mysteriously shattered one night, and despite many attempts, the pieces could not be put back together. One day, an old sorcerer appeared at the castle gates with a twinkle in his eye. He claimed he could repair the mirror, but he needed something rare, a single, genuine drop of a phoenix's feather, known to possess magical properties. He warned that finding such a feather would be a great challenge, but Princess Aurora, eager to see herself again and bring hope to her people, agreed to try. The sorcerer told her of a legendary phoenix who lived atop the Misty Mountain, a perilous peak surrounded by thick fog and treacherous paths. Determined, Aurora set out on her quest, armed with a map and her father's old sword. On her journey, Aurora met a kind-hearted knight named Sir Cedric. Sir Cedric was known for his bravery and noble deeds. He had heard of the princess's quest and offered to help, knowing the dangers that lay ahead. "Princess Aurora," Cedric said with a bow, "I will accompany you and ensure your safety. We will find the phoenix together." Aurora thanked Cedric, and the two set off for Misty Mountain. They traveled through enchanted forests, crossed bubbling brooks, and climbed steep cliffs. Along the way, they faced many challenges. They had to outsmart mischievous forest sprites who tried to lead them astray, and they bravely navigated through a dark cave filled with echoing sounds that tried to confuse them. As they neared the top of Misty Mountain, the fog grew thicker, and the air became colder. Aurora and Cedric pressed on, their determination unwavering. Finally, they reached a clearing where the phoenix's magnificent nest was perched atop a glowing stone altar. The phoenix itself, with feathers of gold and red, shimmered in the dim light. It was a sight to behold, majestic and radiant. Cedric approached cautiously, while Aurora stood back, respecting the creature's space. With a deep breath, Cedric spoke. "Great Phoenix, we come in peace. Princess Aurora seeks a single drop of your feather to mend her broken mirror. It is a token of her love for her people and her wish to see herself once more." The Phoenix looked at them with wise, knowing eyes. It seemed to understand their noble quest. The Phoenix nodded and slowly, one golden feather fell from its plumage. It landed softly on the altar, glistening with a magical light. Aurora's heart soared with joy. She thanked the Phoenix, and Cedric carefully placed the feather into a small pouch. As they turned to leave, the Phoenix spoke in a melodious voice. "True courage and kindness are the greatest magic of all. You have proven your hearts are pure. May the feather bring not just sight, but wisdom and understanding." Aurora and Cedric made their way back to the castle, their journey now filled with the promise of success. When they arrived, the sorcerer awaited them with a hopeful expression. With the feather in hand, he began the enchanting process of mending the mirror. As the pieces of the mirror came together, a soft, warm glow filled the room. The mirror was whole once more, and Aurora looked into it, finally seeing her reflection. But more importantly, she saw the reflection of all the courage and kindness she had shown along her journey. Cedric, standing beside her, watched with a proud smile. The kingdom rejoiced as the princess's mirror was restored. The people celebrated not just the return of their beloved princess's reflection, but the bravery and kindness that had brought them this joyous day. And so, Princess Aurora and Sir Cedric became close friends, their bond forged through their shared adventure. The kingdom thrived under Aurora's kind rule, and Sir Cedric's deeds were remembered as the tales of bravery and honor. From then on, the magical mirror was not only a symbol of beauty but a reminder of the virtues that truly mattered: courage, kindness, and the magic found in helping others. The end. In a land where the moonlight danced on the silver waters of a grand lake, there was a hidden kingdom known only to those with the purest of hearts. This kingdom, called Lumina, was a place of wonder where the trees glowed softly, and the flowers sang lullabies to the stars. Its ruler was Queen Seraphina, a kind and wise queen who possessed a magical moonstone that kept the kingdom bathed in eternal twilight. The kingdom's peace was threatened when the moonstone, which had been safeguarded for centuries, began to dim. The once brilliant light now flickered weakly. Queen Seraphina, worried about the kingdom's future, summoned her most trusted advisor, a wise old owl named Orin. "Orin," the queen said, "the moonstone's light is fading, and with it, the magic of Lumina is weakening. We must find the source of the problem before it's too late." Orin, with his deep knowledge of ancient lore, explained that the only way to restore the moonstone's power was to find the lost starlight crystal, which had been hidden long ago to protect it from dark forces. To find the crystal, they would need to follow 3 clues left by the kingdom's founders. Queen Seraphina decided to seek the help of the bravest and kindest person she knew, a young girl named Aria who lived on the edge of the forest. Aria had always shown a deep love for the natural world and had an adventurous spirit. Aria agreed to help and set out on her quest with Orin guiding her. The first clue was hidden in the Whispering Woods, where the trees were said to hold secrets in their rustling leaves. The Whispering Woods and the Whispering Woods, the trees whispered directions and riddles. Aria listened carefully to the rustling leaves and followed the path they revealed. She soon came upon an ancient tree with a hollow trunk. Inside the trunk, she found an old parchment with a riddle, asterisk, "In the valley where shadows fall, seek the light that never dies. Only then will you find the way to the crystal's hidden guise." Asterisk. Aria and Orin interpreted the riddle to mean that they needed to go to a valley where a perpetual shadow was cast by an eternal mountain. The Valley of Eternal Shadows. They traveled to the Valley of Eternal Shadows, where the towering mountain cast a permanent shade. At the valley's heart was a small, hidden cave. Inside, they discovered a glowing orb resting on a pedestal. The orb was known as the Eternal Light, and it provided them with the next clue, asterisk, "When the moon's tears are seen, find the mirror that reflects the unseen. There lies the path to the crystal, hidden where dreams are woven." Asterisk the Mirror of Dreams. Following the clue, Arya and Oren journeyed to the Dreamweaver's Glen, a place known for its magical mirrors that could reflect not just appearances but also hidden truths. They searched among the mirrors and found one that showed a vision of a moonlit lake, where the starlight crystal was said to be hidden. The vision guided them to a tranquil lake, with the moonlight casting an enchanting glow over the water. At the lake's center was a small island, and on it stood a solitary, ancient pedestal. As Arya and Oren approached the pedestal, they saw the starlight crystal resting upon it, glowing softly but not as brightly as it should. They realized that the crystal's light needed to be rekindled by the moonstone's power. Arya took out the moonstone from her pouch and held it up. The crystal's light and the moonstone's light began to intertwine, merging and growing brighter. The lake shimmered with renewed magic, and the kingdom of Lumina began to glow once more. Returned to Lumina with the starlight crystal restored, Arya and Oren returned to Lumina. Queen Seraphina welcomed them with immense gratitude. She placed the crystal beside the moonstone, and its light became radiant again, filling the kingdom with a warm, magical glow. The kingdom's magic was revitalized, and the once fading moonstone now shone brighter than ever. The trees, flowers, and waters of Lumina sparkled with renewed life. The kingdom celebrated Arya's bravery and kindness, and she was honored as a hero of Lumina. Arya returned to her home with a heart full of joy and the knowledge that even the smallest light can make a great difference. The story of her quest became a cherished tale in Lumina, a reminder of the power of courage, friendship, and the magic that can be found in every heart. And so, under the shimmering light of the moon and the starlight crystal, Lumina continued to thrive, its magic and beauty preserved for generations to come. The end. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled between emerald hills and shimmering lakes, there was a grand old tree known as the Whispering Willow. The tree was said to have magical powers and could grant wishes to those who approached it with a pure heart. However, no one had ever heard the tree's whispers, and its magic had become more of a legend than a reality. In this village lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her kindness and her love for nature. She spent her days tending to the village gardens and helping the animals. Though she often heard stories about the Whispering Willow, she had never seen it up close. One sunny afternoon, as Mira was walking by the edge of the forest, she noticed a gentle breeze rustling through the trees. The wind carried a soft, melodious whisper that seemed to be calling her name. Intrigued, Mira followed the sound until she reached the Whispering Willow. The ancient tree stood tall and majestic, its branches swaying gracefully as if greeting her. Mira approached the tree with reverence. "Hello, Whispering Willow," she said softly. "I've heard so much about you and your magic. I wish to understand if the tales are true." To her surprise, the Whispering Willow responded with a warm, melodic voice. "Welcome, Mira. I have been waiting for someone with a pure heart to hear my whispers. To unlock my magic, you must first solve the riddles of the forest. Only then will you discover the true power of the Whispering Willow." Mira eagerly agreed to the challenge. The first riddle came from the tree's rustling leaves. "I am not alive, but I can grow. I don't have eyes, but I can see. I am not alive, but I need light to live. What am I?" Mira thought carefully and answered, "A shadow." The Whispering Willow's leaves shimmered with approval. The second riddle followed. "I have keys but open no doors. I have strings but I am not a harp. You can play me, but I am not a game. What am I?" With a smile, Mira replied, "A piano." The Whispering Willow's branches swayed with delight. And the final riddle was presented. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Mira answered confidently, "A joke." The tree's branches sparkled with a magical light, and the Whispering Willow's voice grew clearer. "You have solved the riddles and shown your kindness. Now, tell me, what is your heart's deepest wish?" Mira thought for a moment. She had seen the village face many hardships, droughts, illnesses, and difficult times. Her greatest wish was for the well-being and happiness of everyone in her village. "I wish for my village to thrive and for all its people to be happy and healthy," Mira said with sincerity. The whispering willow's branches glowed brightly, and a soft breeze carried a shower of golden leaves over the village. As the leaves touched the ground, they transformed into vibrant, blooming flowers and lush, green fields. The village's crops grew plentiful, and the villagers' spirits lifted with newfound joy and prosperity. Mira returned to her village to find it transformed. The fields were lush, the animals were healthy, and the people were filled with happiness. They celebrated Mira's wish, and the whispering willow became a cherished part of their lives. From then on, the village flourished, and Mira continued to spread kindness and care. The tale of the whispering willow and Mira's selfless wish was passed down through generations, a reminder of the magic that lies in a pure heart and the power of wishing for the well-being of others. And so, the whispering willow's magic lived on, a symbol of hope and the strength of a kind and loving heart. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between lush green hills and the shimmering blue lake, lived two siblings, Elara and Thorn. Elara was a kind-hearted girl with a curiosity that matched her bright blue eyes, while Thorn, her younger brother, was brave and adventurous, always eager to explore the unknown. Their village was surrounded by a dense forest known as the Enchanted Grove. Legends spoke of magical creatures and hidden treasures within the grove, but it was also said to be protected by an ancient enchantment that only the pure of heart could pass through. One sunny morning, Elara and Thorn set off on a new adventure. They had heard whispers of a hidden glade within the Enchanted Grove where the fabled Tree of Wishes grew. The tree, according to the legend, could grant one true wish to those who found it. With their hearts full of hope, they ventured into the grove, guided by a mysterious map they found in their grandmother's attic. As they walked deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and the light dimmer. The air was filled with the scent of wildflowers and the sound of rustling leaves. Suddenly, a mischievous pixie named Lumina appeared before them, her wings shimmering like sunlight on water. "Where are you two headed?" Lumina asked with a twinkle in her eye. "We're looking for the Tree of Wishes," Elara replied. Lumina fluttered around them, her laughter like the tinkling of tiny bells. "Many have sought the tree, but few have found it. The path is perilous and full of challenges. But I see something special in both of you. I will guide you, but you must prove your worth along the way." The siblings agreed, and Lumina led them to their first challenge, a bridge guarded by a fierce troll named Grumble. The troll demanded a riddle be solved before they could pass. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Grumble growled. Elara thought for a moment and then answered, "An echo." Grumble grunted, but a smile tugged at his lips. "Correct. You may pass." The trio continued their journey until they reached a wide river with no bridge or boat in sight. Lumina pointed to a family of beavers nearby. "Perhaps they can help." Thorn approached the beavers and asked for their assistance. The beavers agreed to build a bridge if the siblings could help them find food. Elara and Thorn worked together, gathering berries and nuts, and soon the beavers constructed a sturdy bridge. As they crossed the river, Lumina warned them of their final challenge, a maze of thorns that could only be navigated by those with pure intentions. Holding hands, Elara and Thorn entered the maze, their hearts united in their quest. They walked with determination, helping each other through the twists and turns. At the maze's end, they found themselves in a serene glade bathed in golden light. In the center stood the majestic Tree of Wishes, its branches heavy with sparkling fruit. A gentle voice spoke from the tree, "You have shown bravery, kindness, and purity of heart. You may each make a wish." Elara wished for the prosperity and happiness of their village, while Thorn wished for their parents' good health and long life. The tree shimmered, and the wishes were granted. As a token of gratitude, the tree gave them each a golden leaf, promising that they would always find their way back to the glade when needed. With Lumina's help, Elara and Thorn returned home, their hearts light and their spirits high. They shared their tale, and the village flourished with newfound hope and joy. And so, the siblings' adventure became a cherished legend, reminding everyone that with courage, kindness, and a pure heart, even the most daunting challenges could be overcome. and they lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, on a rugged coast where the sea met the land with a dramatic crash of waves, stood an ancient lighthouse. This lighthouse, known as the Enchanted Lighthouse, was said to hold the power to guide lost souls back home and reveal hidden treasures to those who were pure of heart. The lighthouse had been abandoned for many years, and its light had long since faded. The villagers who lived nearby spoke of the lighthouse in hushed tones, sharing stories of its magical past. They believed that if someone were to restore the lighthouse would once again fulfill its legendary purpose. In a small, coastal village lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her adventurous spirit and her kind heart. She often helped the fishermen and sailors, and her greatest wish was to bring hope and safety to those who ventured out to sea. When Mira heard about the enchanted lighthouse, she felt a deep calling to restore its light. One stormy night, Mira decided to embark on a quest to the lighthouse. She wrapped herself in a warm cloak and set out through the howling wind and driving rain. The journey was treacherous, but Mira's determination and courage kept her going. Upon reaching the lighthouse, Mira found it standing tall and weathered, its once bright paint now faded and chipped. She climbed the winding staircase to the top, where she discovered the old lantern chamber. The lantern was covered in dust and cobwebs, but Mira could see its intricate design and the remnants of its once glowing light. As she examined the lantern, a soft, ethereal voice spoke from within. To restore the light of the enchanted lighthouse, you must complete 3 tasks, each representing a different virtue. Only then will the magic of the lighthouse be awakened. Mira listened carefully as the voice continued. The first task is the task of compassion. Find and heal a wounded sea creature. With determination, Mira descended the lighthouse and ventured to the rocky shore. There, she found a sea turtle tangled in a fishing net, its flippers injured. Mira carefully freed the turtle and tended to its wounds with some herbal remedies she had brought. The sea turtle, grateful for her help, swam away with a newfound vigor, and Mira felt a sense of fulfillment. The second task was the task of bravery. Mira had to face her deepest fear. The voice guided her to a hidden cave beneath the lighthouse. Inside the cave, Mira encountered a swirling vortex of shadows. Her heart raced, but she took a deep breath and stepped into the shadows, finding a hidden chest containing a magical crystal. As she touched the crystal, the shadows vanished, and Mira's courage shone through. The final task was the task of wisdom. Mira had to solve a riddle inscribed on an old, weathered scroll, asterisk, I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I? Star. Mira thought carefully about the riddle and realized the answer. A map, she said aloud. The scroll glowed with a soft light, and a hidden compartment in the lantern chamber opened, revealing a key. With the key in hand, Mira returned to the lantern chamber and unlocked the lantern's mechanism. As she did, the lantern began to glow with a warm, golden light. The light grew brighter and more intense, filling the lighthouse with a radiant glow that could be seen for miles around. The villagers saw the light from the lighthouse and were filled with hope and joy. Fishermen and sailors who had been lost or stranded were guided safely back to shore. The enchanted lighthouse had fulfilled its purpose once again, thanks to Mira's bravery, compassion, and wisdom. Mira returned to the village as a hero, and the tale of her quest and the restored lighthouse became a cherished story. The lighthouse continued to shine brightly, a beacon of hope and guidance for all who ventured out to sea. And so, the village thrived, and the enchanted lighthouse stood tall and proud, its light a symbol of the magic that can be found in the virtues of the heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom called Harmonia, there was a charming village named Melody Springs. Known for its beautiful music and skilled musicians, Melody Springs was a place where harmony reigned supreme. Among its residents was a young girl named Lila, who had a voice so enchanting that it could make the flowers bloom and the birds sing along. Lila lived with her parents in a cozy cottage on the edge of the village. Her mother was a renowned harpist, and her father was a master violinist. They often played together, filling their home with the sweetest melodies. Lila loved singing along, and her dream was to find the legendary enchanted harp, a magical instrument said to produce music so beautiful it could heal any ailment and bring peace to troubled hearts. One fateful day, a terrible storm struck the village, bringing sickness and despair. The once cheerful tunes of Melody Springs were replaced by the sounds of coughing and crying. Lila's parents fell ill, and despite her best efforts to care for them, they grew weaker each day. Desperate to save her parents and restore joy to her village, Lila decided to search for the enchanted harp. The legend of the enchanted harp told of its resting place deep within the Whispering Woods, guarded by mythical creatures and protected by powerful spells. With a heart full of determination and a small bag of provisions, Lila set off on her quest at dawn. As she entered the Whispering Woods, the trees seemed to whisper secrets and warnings. The path was unclear, and the shadows played tricks on her eyes. Suddenly, a majestic stag with antlers like silver branches appeared before her. "Why do you venture into these woods, young one?" the stag asked. "I seek the enchanted harp to heal my parents and bring happiness back to my village," Lila replied. The stag looked at her with gentle eyes. "Your intentions are noble. I will guide you to the Forest of Echoes, where the guardian of the harp resides. But beware, the path is fraught with challenges that will test your heart." Grateful for the stag's help, Lila followed him through the dense forest. They crossed sparkling streams and climbed rocky hills, and as they walked, the stag told Lila stories of the forest and its magic. After a long journey, they arrived at the Forest of Echoes, a mystical place where every sound seemed to linger and repeat. In the center of the forest stood a grand tree with golden leaves, and at its base lay the enchanted harp, glowing softly with an ethereal light. But between Lila and the harp was a fierce griffin, its wings spread wide and its eyes blazing. "Who dares to approach the enchanted harp?" the griffin roared. "It is I, Lila of Melody Springs," she said, stepping forward bravely. "I seek the harp to heal my parents and my village." The griffin studied her for a moment. "The harp is not for the faint of heart. To claim it, you must prove your worth by completing 3 tasks." Lila nodded, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. "First," the griffin said, "you must find the melody stone hidden within this forest. It emits a tune that only the pure of heart can hear." Lila closed her eyes and listened intently to the sounds around her. Focusing on her love for her parents and her village, she followed a faint, beautiful melody. After a long search, she found the melody stone beneath a bed of moss, its tune growing louder as she approached. The griffin nodded in approval. "Second, you must mend the broken lyre. It has been shattered for centuries, and only the hands of the kind-hearted can restore it." Lila gathered the pieces of the broken lyre scattered around the forest and began to piece them together. She sang softly as she worked, her voice guiding her hands. Slowly, the lyre came together, whole and beautiful once more. Finally, the griffin said, "You must sing a song that touches my heart, proving your intentions are true." Lila took a deep breath and began to sing a lullaby her mother used to sing to her. Her voice filled the forest, and even the trees seemed to lean in to listen. As she sang, the griffin's fierce expression softened, and tears glistened in its eyes. "You have proven yourself worthy, Lila," the griffin said. "The enchanted harp is yours." With reverence, Lila approached the harp and gently strummed its strings. A melody more beautiful than anything she had ever heard filled the air. She felt the harp's magic flow through her, and she knew it would heal her parents and bring joy back to Melody Springs. The stag led Lila safely back to her village, where she played the enchanted harp for her parents and the villagers. The harp's magic worked wonders, curing the sick and lifting everyone's spirits. Melody Springs was filled with music and laughter once more. Lila's parents embraced her, their eyes filled with pride and gratitude. "You have brought hope and happiness back to our lives, my brave daughter," her mother said. From that day on, Lila continued to play the enchanted harp, using its magic to help those in need. Her story spread far and wide, inspiring others to believe in the power of love, music, and courage. And so, the kingdom of Harmonia thrived, forever grateful to the brave girl who brought the magic of the enchanted harp into their lives. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where lush meadows met towering mountains, there was a peaceful village named Everbrook. Everbrook was renowned for its breathtaking beauty and its people's warm hospitality. However, the village faced a great challenge. A terrible drought had dried up the once abundant river that provided water to the fields and homes. One evening, as the villagers gathered in the town square to discuss their predicament, an old storyteller named Elias shared a forgotten legend. He spoke of an ancient crystal key, hidden in a mysterious cave, that could restore the flow of the river. According to the legend, the key was guarded by the gentle spirit of the cave, and only someone with a heart full of courage and kindness could retrieve it. Among the villagers was a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her bravery and her unwavering determination to help others. Her family's farm was struggling due to the drought, but Mira's spirit remained strong. Hearing the legend, she decided to embark on a quest to find the crystal key and save her village. The next morning, Mira set out towards the mountains, guided by the directions Elias had shared. She trekked through the dense forest and up the rugged paths, her heart filled with hope and her mind focused on the task ahead. After a long journey, Mira arrived at the mouth of the mysterious cave. The entrance was adorned with ancient carvings of stars and moons, and a soft, golden light emanated from within. Mira took a deep breath and entered the cave, her footsteps echoing softly against the stone walls. Inside the cave, Mira found a magnificent underground chamber bathed in shimmering light. At the center of the chamber was a pedestal with an ornate crystal key resting upon it. The key sparkled with every color of the rainbow, casting reflections on the cave walls. As Mira approached the pedestal, a gentle voice spoke from the shadows. "Welcome, brave soul. To claim the crystal key, you must prove your heart's true intention. Are you prepared to face this challenge?" Mira nodded, her heart racing but her resolve unshaken. "I am ready." The voice continued, "To test your heart, you must solve 3 riddles. Each riddle will reveal a part of the key's power. Answer wisely, and you shall succeed." The first riddle echoed through the chamber. "I am not alive, yet I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, yet water kills me. What am I?" Mira thought for a moment and then answered, "Fire." The pedestal glowed warmly, and the second riddle began. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Mira smiled as she recognized the answer. An echo. The pedestal's glow intensified, and the final riddle was spoken. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Mira pondered this riddle for a while. Then, with a spark of inspiration, she said, "A joke." With her correct answers, the pedestal shone brightly, and the crystal key lifted into the air. The gentle spirit of the cave appeared before Mira, a luminous figure with a kind and knowing smile. "You have answered the riddles with wisdom and sincerity," the spirit said. "The crystal key is now yours. Use its power to restore what has been lost." Mira took the key with gratitude and began her journey back to Everbrook. As she neared the village, she noticed that the once dry riverbed was now starting to glisten with fresh, flowing water. With the crystal key in hand, Mira approached the river's source, a hidden spring in the mountains. She inserted the key into a hidden lock near the spring, and a cascade of water burst forth, rejuvenating the river and bringing life back to the fields and homes of Everbrook. The villagers rejoiced at the sight of the flowing river and the return of their prosperity. Mira was celebrated as a hero, and the village thrived once again, thanks to her bravery in the magic of the crystal key. The story of Mira's quest became a beloved tale in Everbrook, a reminder of the power of courage, wisdom, and a kind heart. The crystal key was placed in a special shrine in the village, a symbol of hope and a testament to the magic that lies within every courageous soul. And so, Everbrook flourished, and Mira's name was remembered with great admiration. The village thrived under the watchful gaze of the mountains and the gentle flow of the river, forever grateful for the brave girl who had restored their happiness. The end. Once upon a time, in the enchanting kingdom of Eldoria, there was a village called Glimmerbrook, nestled between the Crystal Mountains and the Enchanted Forest. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, and their lives were filled with joy and prosperity. Every night, the moon shone brightly over the village, casting a silver glow on everything it touched. The villagers believed that the moonlight was a gift from Luna, the moon goddess, who watched over them from the night sky. Among the villagers was a young girl named Lyra, known for her adventurous spirit and boundless curiosity. Lyra loved exploring the enchanted forest, where she often played with the woodland creatures and listened to the whispers of the ancient trees. Her grandmother, a wise and gentle woman named Elara, often told her stories about the Moonlit Meadow, a mystical place said to be hidden deep within the forest. According to legend, the Moonlit Meadow was a sanctuary where Luna herself descended to bless the land with her magic. One fateful evening, as Lyra and her grandmother sat by the fireplace, Elara spoke of a dark shadow that had begun to creep over Eldoria. The moonlight was fading, and with it, the vitality of the village. Crops withered, and the once clear streams turned murky. The villagers grew anxious, fearing that Luna had abandoned them. "The Moonlit Meadow holds the key to saving our village," Elara said softly. "But it can only be found by one with a pure heart and an unyielding spirit." Determined to save her village, Lyra set off early the next morning. She packed a small satchel with provisions and took her grandmother's silver pendant, a family heirloom said to be blessed by Luna herself. With the pendant around her neck, Lyra ventured into the enchanted forest, following the faint traces of moonlight that filtered through the trees. As she journeyed deeper into the forest, Lyra encountered a wise old owl named Orion. Orion had been watching over the forest for centuries and knew of the Moonlit Meadow. "I can guide you," he said in a hooty voice, "but first, you must help me. A dark curse has befallen the sacred oak, the heart of this forest. Its branches are withering, and it no longer sings to the moon." Lyra agreed to help and followed Orion to the sacred oak. The tree stood tall but looked sickly, its once vibrant leaves now dull and lifeless. Lyra placed her hands on the trunk and closed her eyes, focusing on the pendant's warmth against her chest. She sang a soft, melodious tune, a lullaby her grandmother had taught her. As she sang, the pendant began to glow, and the moonlight around her intensified. The sacred oak's leaves slowly regained their color, and the tree hummed with life once more. Orion, impressed by Lyra's pure heart, guided her further into the forest. They reached a river guarded by a majestic silver stag. "To cross this river, you must prove your courage," the stag declared. On the other side, a frightened fawn was trapped on a narrow ledge, surrounded by rushing waters. Without hesitation, Lyra waded into the river, battling the strong currents. She reached the fawn and gently lifted it onto her shoulders. Carefully, she made her way back across the river, where the stag waited with an approving nod. "You have shown great courage," the stag said. "You may cross." Lyra and Orion continued their journey until they reached the foot of the Crystal Mountains. A narrow, winding path led up to a hidden cave, where Luna's light was said to be strongest. Inside the cave, Lyra found a shimmering pool of water, reflecting the moonlight. In the center of the pool stood a beautiful, glowing flower, the lunar blossom, a symbol of Luna's blessing. As Lyra approached the lunar blossom, a dark shadow loomed over her. The shadow serpent, a creature of darkness, had been guarding the blossom, feeding off its light. "To claim the blossom, you must defeat me," the serpent hissed, its eyes glowing with malice. Lyra, clutching her pendant, stepped forward. She remembered her grandmother's stories and the power of the moonlight. With a deep breath, she raised the pendant high, and a beam of pure moonlight shot forth, striking the serpent. The creature recoiled, hissing in pain, but Lyra stood her ground, her heart filled with determination. "Luna, guide me," she whispered, and the moonlight intensified, enveloping the serpent in a brilliant glow. The shadow serpent writhed and then dissolved into the light, leaving nothing but a faint wisp of smoke. Lyra reached out and gently plucked the lunar blossom from the pool. With the blossom in hand, Lyra made her way back to Glimmerbrook. As she walked, the moonlight followed her, growing brighter with each step. When she returned to the village, the lunar blossom's light spread over the land, restoring the crops and purifying the streams. The villagers gathered, their faces filled with awe and gratitude. Elara embraced Lyra, tears of joy in her eyes. "You have done it, my dear. You have saved us all." That night, Luna descended from the heavens to thank Lyra for her bravery and selflessness. "You have proven yourself worthy of my blessing," Luna said, her voice like the sweetest melody. "The moonlit meadow will forever be open to you, and my light will always shine upon Eldoria." From that day on, Lyra was known as the Moonlight Guardian. She continued to explore the forest, protecting the land and its creatures. The village of Glimmerbrook flourished, bathed in the eternal glow of Luna's light. And so, Eldoria lived happily ever after, forever grateful for the courage and heart of a young girl named Lyra, who brought the moonlight back to their world. The end. The Whispering Tree. In a peaceful village nestled at the edge of an ancient forest, there was a majestic oak tree known as the Whispering Tree. This tree was renowned for its ability to communicate through soft, rustling whispers carried on the wind. The villagers believed the tree held the wisdom of the forest and often sought its advice in times of need. Among the villagers was a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his curiosity and boundless energy. He spent his days exploring the forest and dreaming of grand adventures. Although he often visited the Whispering Tree, he had never heard its whispers, which made him wonder about its secrets. The call of the Whispering Tree. One autumn evening, as the leaves began to turn golden and the air grew crisp, Finn felt a peculiar tug in his heart. The Whispering Tree seemed to be calling him, its whispers louder than ever before. Driven by curiosity, Finn decided to visit the tree and seek its wisdom. As he approached, he saw that the Whispering Tree's bark had taken on a shimmering hue. The whispers grew more distinct, almost like a gentle psalm. Finn touched the tree's bark and heard a soft voice saying, "To find what you seek, you must venture where the moonlight dances on the silver stream." The journey begins with the Whispering Tree's cryptic message in mind. Finn set off on a quest to find the silver stream. Guided by the light of the full moon, he ventured deeper into the forest than ever before. The trees seemed to part for him, and the path was illuminated by the moon's gentle glow. After a long walk, Finn discovered a hidden stream with water that sparkled like silver under the moonlight. At the edge of the stream stood a small, ornate bridge made of moonbeams. Finn crossed the bridge and followed the stream as it twisted and turned through the forest. The enchanted grove. The stream led Finn to a hidden grove bathed in moonlight. In the center of the grove was a crystal-clear pond with a single, floating lily pad. On the lily pad rested a golden key. The sight was mesmerizing, and Finn carefully reached out to take the key. As soon as Finn touched the key, the grove began to shimmer with a magical light. The trees around the pond started to glow, and the air was filled with a soft, melodic hum. A gentle breeze carried the whispering voice again, now clear and soothing, "Return to where the journey began, and unlock the heart of the forest." The heart of the forest. Returning to the Whispering Tree with the golden key, Finn found that the once familiar tree now seemed even more majestic. The tree's bark had transformed into a shimmering silver, and its branches swayed as if welcoming him. Finn approached the tree's trunk, which had a hidden keyhole just beneath the surface. With a sense of anticipation, he inserted the golden key and turned it. The Whispering Tree's bark parted, revealing a hidden door that led to a spiral staircase. The secret chamber. Finn descended the staircase, which led him to a secret chamber filled with glowing orbs of light. At the center of the chamber was a large, ancient book resting on a pedestal. The book was adorned with intricate designs and seemed to radiate warmth and magic. Finn carefully opened the book, and its pages revealed a story of the forest's origin. The book spoke of an ancient magic that connected all living things, a magic that had been preserved by the Whispering Tree. It detailed how the tree had been entrusted with this knowledge to protect the forest and its inhabitants. The gift of wisdom. As Finn read, he realized that the Whispering Tree's true gift was not just its wisdom but the understanding that all creatures in the forest were part of a grand, interconnected web of life. The magic of the Whispering Tree was a reminder of the harmony and balance that sustained the world. The Whispering Tree's voice echoed in Finn's mind, "You have unlocked the heart of the forest and discovered its secret. share this wisdom with others, and cherish the harmony of nature. With a renewed sense of purpose, Finn returned to the village, carrying the story of the Whispering Tree and the ancient book in his heart. He became a storyteller, sharing the magic and wisdom he had learned with the villagers. The forest thrived under his care, and the Whispering Tree continued to be a guardian of the forest's secrets. The tale of Finn and the Whispering Tree was passed down through generations, reminding everyone that the greatest treasures are the connections we share with the world around us and the wisdom we gain from listening to its whispers. The Enchanted Orchard. Once upon a time, in a quaint kingdom nestled between emerald hills and sparkling rivers, there was a mystical orchard known as the Enchanted Orchard. This orchard was renowned for its magical fruits, which were said to have the power to grant one wish to someone with a pure heart and noble intentions. However, the orchard was hidden deep within an ancient forest and could only be found by those who truly needed its magic. In a small, humble village at the edge of the forest lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her kindness and selflessness. She spent her days helping her family and neighbors, tending to the village's gardens, and caring for the sick. Despite her generosity, Lila and her village were suffering from a terrible blight that had ruined their crops and left them in dire need of food. One day, as Lila was tending the village garden, she overheard a group of travelers talking about the Enchanted Orchard. They spoke of its magical fruits and the wonders it could bring. Determined to help her village, Lila decided she would venture into the forest to find the orchard and use its magic to save her home. The journey begins early the next morning. Lila packed a small satchel with bread, a flask of water, and a warm cloak. She set off into the ancient forest, guided only by the whispers of the wind and the stories she had heard. The forest was dense and mysterious, with towering trees and winding paths. As she journeyed deeper into the forest, Lila encountered a wise old owl perched on a gnarled tree branch. The owl looked at her with piercing eyes and said, "To find the Enchanted Orchard, you must first solve my riddle. I have branches but no fruit, no trunk but plenty of leaves. What am I?" Lila pondered for a moment and then answered, "A book." The owl hooted in approval and flapped its wings, revealing a hidden path illuminated by a soft, silver glow. Lila followed the path, her heart filled with hope. The mysterious glade. The path led Lila to a serene glade where the trees were adorned with glowing fireflies. In the center of the glade was a gently bubbling spring, and beside it stood a graceful deer. The deer spoke softly. "To continue, you must solve this riddle. What has cities, but no houses, mountains, but no trees, and water, but no fish?" Lila thought carefully and then answered, "A map." The deer nodded and stepped aside, revealing a shimmering bridge that spanned across the spring. Lila crossed the bridge and continued her journey. The Enchanted Orchard. The bridge led Lila to a hidden grove bathed in golden light. In the center of the grove stood the Enchanted Orchard, its trees laden with glowing fruits of every color imaginable. The air was filled with a sweet, intoxicating fragrance. Lila approached the orchard and saw a large, ancient tree in the middle, with a single, magnificent fruit hanging from its branches. The tree spoke in a deep, melodic voice, "To receive the magic of the Enchanted Orchard, you must make a wish with a heart full of love and selflessness. What you wish for should benefit others." Lila took a deep breath and made her wish, "I wish for my village to be blessed with abundant crops and to have enough food for everyone, so that no one has to go hungry." As she spoke, the magnificent fruit began to glow even brighter, and a gentle breeze carried its magic back to Lila's village. The light spread across the forest, flowing into the fields and gardens of her home. The return to the village. When Lila returned to her village, she was greeted with astonished joy. The once barren fields were now lush and green, the crops were thriving, and there was plenty of food for everyone. The village celebrated with a grand feast, and the people were filled with gratitude for Lila's bravery and kindness. The magic of the Enchanted Orchard had transformed the village, bringing prosperity and happiness to all. Lila was honored as a hero, and her story became a cherished legend, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of selflessness and the magic that lies within a kind heart. And so, Lila's village continued to thrive, forever blessed by the magic of the Enchanted Orchard and the loving heart of one extraordinary young girl. Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom known as Evergreen, there was a wondrous glade called the Garden of Echoes. This garden was famous for its vibrant, enchanted flowers that bloomed in every color of the rainbow. Each flower held a unique magic, and the garden was tended by a wise old gnome named Thistlewick. Thistlewick had a special connection with the flowers and the garden's magic. He was known to grant a single wish to those who proved themselves worthy by completing 3 magical tasks. Many came seeking Thistlewick's help, but only a few succeeded. In the nearby village of Maplewood lived a kind-hearted girl named Leora. Leora was known for her love of animals and her generous spirit. She had always dreamed of making the world a better place but didn't know where to start. One day, she decided to visit the Garden of Echoes and seek Thistlewick's guidance. Accompanied by her loyal dog, Bramble, Leora journeyed through the lush forest that surrounded the garden. The path was adorned with sparkling dew and sweet-scented blossoms. As they approached the garden, they were greeted by Thistlewick, who was busy tending to the magical flowers. "Welcome, Leora," Thistlewick said with a twinkle in his eye. "To receive my help, you must complete 3 tasks that test your heart and spirit. Only then will I grant you a single wish." Leora nodded, determined to prove her worth. Thistlewick began with the first task, the trial of patience. He led her to a grove where a rare flower called the nightshade blossom was blooming. The blossom only opened once every 100 years and required a delicate touch. Leora and Bramble carefully approached the blossom. Thistlewick instructed them to wait quietly without disturbing the flower, as any sudden movement could make it close. For hours, they sat in silence, watching as the flower gradually unfurled its petals. Their patience paid off, and the nightshade blossom revealed its shimmering beauty. Having completed the first task, Thistlewick presented the trial of wisdom. He handed Leora a scroll with a riddle. "I am taken from a mine, and shut up in a wooden case, from which I am never released, and yet I am used by almost every person. What am I?" Leora pondered the riddle carefully. With Bramble's encouraging nudge, she recalled the answer. "Pencil," she said confidently. The riddle solved, the path to the next task was revealed. The final task was the trial of compassion. Thistlewick led Leora to a hidden corner of the garden where a small, injured creature lay, a tiny fairy with a broken wing. The fairy was weak and frightened, and Thistlewick explained that Leora needed to help heal the fairy. Leora gently picked up the fairy and used the herbs and salve she had brought with her. She spoke soothingly to the fairy and tended to its wing with utmost care. Bramble gathered fresh nectar from nearby flowers to help restore the fairy's strength. After some time, the fairy's wing began to heal, and its sparkle returned. With the 3 tasks complete, Thistlewick smiled warmly. "You have shown patience, wisdom, and compassion. Your heart is pure, and you have proven yourself worthy." Leora thanked Thistlewick and made her wish. "I wish for a way to help others in need, so I can spread kindness and make a difference in the world." Thistlewick nodded and handed Leora a small, enchanted seed. "Plant this seed in the heart of your village. It will grow into a tree of wishes, allowing you to help others and share the magic you found." Leora and Bramble returned to Maplewood and planted the enchanted seed in the village square. As the tree grew, it blossomed with golden leaves and magical fruit. Villagers could make their wishes, and the tree's magic would grant them hope and help. The Tree of Wishes brought prosperity and joy to Maplewood, and Leora's wish to spread kindness was fulfilled. The village flourished, and the spirit of generosity spread far and wide. And so, the legend of Leora and the Garden of Echoes became a beloved story in Evergreen, a testament to the power of patience, wisdom, and compassion. The end. In a charming village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, lived a young girl named Aira. Aira had a deep love for the stars, spending each night gazing up at the sky with wonder and dreaming of the magical places beyond. One evening, as Aira was lying on a grassy hill, she noticed something unusual, a shimmering bridge made of stardust arching across the night sky. It seemed to glow with a gentle, inviting light. Curious and excited, Aira decided to follow the stardust bridge to see where it led. As she stepped onto the bridge, It felt soft beneath her feet, like walking on clouds. The bridge sparkled with every step she took, leading her higher and higher into the sky. Era felt a rush of excitement and wonder as she climbed higher than she had ever imagined. After what seemed like an eternity of sparkling steps, she reached the end of the bridge, arriving in a magical land called Celestia. The land was filled with floating islands, glittering rivers of light, and trees with leaves made of pure crystal. The sky was a swirling tapestry of colors, and the air was filled with the sweet sound of celestial music. Era was greeted by a friendly guide, a wise old star sprite named Orion. With twinkling eyes and a gentle smile, Orion explained that Celestia was a realm of dreams and magic, where wishes were granted and stars were born. However, the land was in great peril. An ancient spell had been cast by the sorceress Noctara, which caused the stars to lose their light and the balance of Celestia to waver. Orion revealed that to restore the light and balance to Celestia, Era needed to find 3 magical star crystals hidden in different corners of the realm. Each crystal had a unique power and was guarded by a challenge that required bravery, kindness, and cleverness. The first crystal, the Crystal of Courage, was hidden in the Forest of Echoes. The forest was dense and filled with echoing sounds that could disorient anyone who entered. Era ventured into the forest, where she faced her fear of the unknown. By trusting her heart and following the echoes of her own courage, she discovered the Crystal of Courage hidden in a shimmering glade. The second crystal, the Crystal of Kindness, was located in the Lake of Reflections. The lake's surface was covered with illusions that showed the darkest fears and hopes of those who looked into it. Era had to navigate through these illusions and show true kindness to a lost and frightened swan. By helping the swan find its way home, she received the Crystal of Kindness from the depths of the lake. The final crystal, the Crystal of Wisdom, was found in the Tower of Stars, which reached up to the highest point in Celestia. The tower was filled with ancient riddles and puzzles that tested one's wisdom. Era used her knowledge and intuition to solve the riddles and reached the top of the tower, where she discovered the Crystal of Wisdom glowing brightly. With all 3 crystals in hand, Era returned to Orion. Together, they placed the crystals in a celestial altar at the center of Celestia. The crystals began to radiate a brilliant light, and the stars in the sky shimmered back to life. The balance of Celestia was restored, and the realm was filled with renewed magic and harmony. Orion thanked Era for her bravery and kindness. As a token of gratitude, he gifted her a small, silver star pendant that would allow her to visit Celestia whenever she wished. The pendant would also serve as a reminder of the adventure and the lessons learned along the way. Era stepped back onto the Stardust Bridge, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment and joy. As she descended back to her village, the bridge gently faded away behind her, leaving only the twinkling stars above as a memory. From that day on, Era carried the silver star pendant with her, cherishing the magical adventure she had experienced. She continued to gaze at the stars with wonder, knowing that beyond them lay a realm of dreams and magic waiting to be discovered. And so, the tale of Era and the Stardust Bridge became a beloved story in her village, inspiring others to follow their dreams and find the magic within themselves. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there was a beautiful princess named Elara. Princess Elara was kind and loved by all the people in her kingdom. She had everything she could ever want, but she always felt that something was missing. She longed for adventure and wished to see the world beyond the castle walls. One sunny day, Princess Elara decided to take a walk by the enchanted lake near the castle. The lake was known for its crystal-clear water and magical creatures. Elara loved visiting the lake and talking to the animals that lived there. As she strolled along the shore, Elara noticed something shining in the water. She leaned over and saw a golden fish swimming near the surface. The fish had sparkling scales that glittered in the sunlight. "Hello, little fish," Elara said, smiling. "You are the most beautiful fish I have ever seen." To her surprise, the golden fish replied, "Thank you, Princess Elara. I am not just any fish. I am a magical fish, and I can grant you one wish." Elara was astonished. "A wish? I have always dreamed of an adventure. I wish to explore the world beyond the castle and help those in need." The golden fish nodded. Your wish is noble, princess. I will grant it, but remember, true adventure comes from the heart, and helping others brings the greatest joy. With that, the fish flicked its tail, and a golden light surrounded Alara. When the light faded, Alara found herself in a beautiful forest. She was no longer wearing her royal gown but a simple dress suitable for traveling. Excited and curious, Alara began her journey through the forest. She soon came across a small village where the people looked sad and worried. Alara approached a group of villagers and asked, "What is troubling you, my friends?" An elderly woman replied, "Our village is cursed by a wicked sorcerer who lives in the dark mountains. He has stolen our most precious treasures and cast a spell that makes our crops wither." Alara's heart filled with determination. "I will help you," she declared. "Show me the way to the dark mountains." The villagers were surprised by her bravery but grateful for her kindness. They gave her a map and some supplies for her journey. Alara set off towards the dark mountains, determined to break the sorcerer's curse. As Alara climbed the rugged paths of the dark mountains, she encountered many challenges. She crossed a rickety bridge over a deep chasm, solved riddles from a talking owl, and found her way through a maze of thorny bushes. With each challenge, Alara grew stronger and more confident. Finally, she reached the sorcerer's castle, a dark and foreboding place. Alara took a deep breath and entered the castle. She made her way through the dimly lit halls until she found the sorcerer's chamber. The wicked sorcerer, a tall figure in a black robe, looked at her with surprise. "Who dares to enter my castle?" he demanded. "I am Princess Alara, and I have come to end your curse and return the treasures you have stolen from the villagers," she replied boldly. The sorcerer laughed. "You are brave, princess, but you cannot defeat me." Alara remembered the words of the golden fish, "True adventure comes from the heart." She knew she had to use her kindness and courage. "I do not wish to fight you," she said. "I believe there is good in everyone. If you return what you have taken and lift the curse, you can find redemption." The sorcerer was taken aback by her words. No one had ever spoken to him with such kindness. He thought for a moment and then said, "Very well, princess. Your words have touched my heart." With a wave of his hand, the sorcerer lifted the curse from the village. He returned the treasures and promised to use his magic for good from that day forward. Alara returned to the village with the treasures and the good news. The villagers rejoiced and celebrated her bravery and kindness. They invited her to stay, but Alara knew she had more adventures ahead. As she continued her journey, Alara helped many more people and discovered that true adventure was about making the world a better place. She eventually returned to her kingdom, where she was welcomed as a hero. Princess Alara never forgot the lesson she learned from the golden fish. She ruled her kingdom with wisdom and compassion, and her adventures became the stuff of legends. And so, Princess Alara lived happily ever after, always ready for the next adventure, knowing that true magic comes from a kind heart and a brave spirit. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the skies were painted with the colors of dawn and the rivers sang lullabies, there was a small village named Glimmerwood. Glimmerwood was nestled in a lush valley surrounded by the towering mystical mountains, where the people lived in harmony with nature and each other. The village was known for its enchanting glow at night, a result of the magical fireflies that danced among the trees. At the heart of Glimmerwood lived a young girl named Clara, who was known for her adventurous spirit and her kind heart. Clara lived with her father, a skilled carpenter, and her mother, a talented weaver. Clara loved to explore the forest with her best friend, a clever fox named Jasper. They would spend hours discovering new paths and marveling at the wonders of nature. One evening, as Clara and Jasper were returning from one of their adventures, they noticed that the fireflies were not glowing as brightly as usual. The villagers gathered in the square, worried and whispering about the dimming light. The village elder, a wise woman named Alara, explained that the fireflies' glow was tied to the Heartstone, a magical gem hidden deep within the enchanted forest. If the Heartstone's light faded, so would the fireflies, plunging Glimmerwood into darkness. Determined to save her village, Clara volunteered to find the Heartstone and restore its light. With Jasper by her side, she set off into the enchanted forest. The forest was a place of beauty and mystery, with ancient trees that seemed to whisper secrets and streams that sparkled like liquid silver. As Clara and Jasper ventured deeper into the forest, they encountered their first challenge, a wide, fast-flowing river with no bridge in sight. Just as Clara was about to despair, a magnificent stag appeared on the opposite bank. The stag spoke in a deep, soothing voice, "To cross this river, you must answer my riddle. What has roots as nobody sees, is taller than trees, up, up it goes, and yet never grows?" Clara thought for a moment and then smiled. "A mountain." The stag nodded and lowered its antlers, creating a magical bridge of vines and flowers. Clara and Jasper crossed the river safely and continued their journey. Soon, they arrived at a dense part of the forest where the trees were so thick that no light penetrated. In the darkness, they could hear the soft rustling of leaves and the faint sound of footsteps. Suddenly, a pair of glowing eyes appeared, and a large, wise owl emerged from the shadows. "To pass through this darkness, you must show your wisdom," the owl hooted. "Tell me, what can fill a room but takes up no space?" Clara pondered the question and then answered, "Light." The owl's eyes twinkled with approval, and the dense trees parted, revealing a clear path bathed in moonlight. As they walked through the illuminated path, they reached a beautiful meadow where a majestic unicorn with a shimmering mane stood. The unicorn looked at them with sorrowful eyes. "My magic is fading, and I can no longer guard the Heartstone," the unicorn said. "To find the stone, you must show compassion. Can you help me?" Clara, with Jasper's help, gathered herbs and concocted a healing potion, just as her mother had taught her. She offered it to the unicorn, who drank it gratefully. Immediately, the unicorn's strength was restored, and it shone with a radiant light. "You have shown great kindness," the unicorn said. "Climb on my back, and I will take you to the Heartstone." Clara and Jasper climbed onto the unicorn's back, and in a flash of light, they were transported to a hidden glade. At the center of the glade stood the Heartstone, glowing faintly. However, as Clara approached it, a dark shadow emerged from the ground. It was Morwen, a sorceress who sought the Heartstone's power for herself. "You cannot take the Heartstone," Morwen hissed, her eyes filled with malice. "It belongs to me." Clara stood her ground, her heart pounding but her resolve unwavering. The Heartstone belongs to those who seek to protect and cherish it, not to those who would use it for evil. Morwen raised her staff, ready to strike, but Jasper darted forward and knocked the staff from her hands. In the confusion, Clara seized the Heartstone and held it high. A brilliant light burst forth, banishing Morwen and her dark magic from the glade. With the Heartstone in her grasp, Clara made her wish for the Firefly's light to be restored and for Glimmerwood to be safe and prosperous. The Heartstone's light enveloped the glade, and a wave of magic spread throughout the forest and beyond, illuminating the entire kingdom. Clara and Jasper returned to Glimmerwood as heroes. The villagers celebrated their bravery and the return of the Firefly's enchanting glow. The Heartstone was placed in a special shrine in the village, where its magic could continue to protect and nourish the land. Clara's name became a legend, inspiring generations with her courage and compassion. And so, the village of Glimmerwood thrived under the watchful eyes of its brave young hero, living happily ever after.